Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Δοκιμάζω λίγο τα scenes στα καινούρια, ελπίζω να σας αρέσουν πάρα πολύ. Έχουμε τελαθεί εδώ πέρα. Πάμε για το part 2 στο πάρα πολύ ωραίο Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars. Χθες το είχαμε παίξει με το φίλο του Δημήτρη. Και σήμερα πάμε να το παίξουμε. Όποιος θέλει μπαίνει στο Discord μας στο server και πάμε να τα απολαύσουμε. Πάμε πάρα πολύ ωραία. Μισό λεπτό το σετάρουμε. Πώς είστε? Ωραία. Τώρα ξεκινάμε το game μας. Όμορφα. Ωραία. Ο server μας στο Discord είναι ανοιχτός. Όποιος θέλει link μου λέει και του στέλνω ένα πάρα πολύ ωραίο link. Πάρα πολύ ωραίο. Continue. Ωραία. Είχαμε μείνει έξω από το σπίτι της Νίκο. Να διαβάσουμε λίγο το journal. Έχουμε καταλάβει ότι έχουμε βρει ότι έχουμε να κάνουμε με αρχαίγονους θησαυρούς και μία μυστική. Καλησπέρα. Ποιος μπήκε στο stream?
Εγώ.
Νατάσα, τι κάνεις?
Καλά, είμαι εσύ.
Καλώς ήρθες στο stream μας. Πάμε να παίξουμε λίγο Shadow of the Templars. Πάμε λίγο έτσι point and click. Ελπίζω να έχετε μια καλή εικόνα. Πάμε να το απολαύσουμε. Έχουμε μείνει εδώ πέρα. Δεν ξέρω αν είδες το προηγούμενο part. Το είδες?
Πρόλαβα, το είδα πριν, ναι.
Ωραία. Είμαστε εδώ πέρα που πάμε. Έχουμε βρει όλα τα στοιχεία για το ποιος είναι, τι γίνεται, τι κρύβεται πίσω. Και πάμε τώρα να δούμε τι και πώς. Νομίζω πάμε στο μουσείο τώρα να βρούμε τον φίλο τον Άντρε της Νίκο, τον που ξέρει από τα αρχαία. Μουσεκόν. Ωραία. Έχουμε καλό ήχο?
Τέλειο.
Pardon me. Oui, monsieur? Are you Lobino? Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian. But Lobino does work here. Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Πού είναι ο Λομπινό?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
I guess not.
Να τη Μαριλένα μπήκε. Καλησπέρα. Κορίτσι μου, ευχαριστώ. Παίζουμε Shadow of the Templars. Απολαύστε το.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur.
Ρωτάει το security τώρα, έτσι. Νατάσα έχει τρελούς διαλόγους στο game, να ξέρεις.
It is the uniform, I guess.
Ναι, το βλέπω.
They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar, not like Monsieur Lobino.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
Okay.
Thanks for your help. In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marn at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory.
Ireland? What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
Άρα βρήκαμε το ίδιο. Βρήκα κάποιος να το πάρουμε.
As I reached toward the display case, a shrill piping
πήγα να
filled the air.
Πήγα να κάνω μαϊμουδιά.
then tried to get myself together and act nonchalantly.
No, monsieur. No. No.
Okay, okay.
Καλησπέρα.
Αγιά,
Να το
Hello.
σολάκι μου.
τι κάνετε?
Καλή απόλαυση. Πώς είσαι? Στριμάρουμε Broken Sword Shadow the Templars.
Για να δω.
Πώς είσαι?
Καλά εσείς?
Πάρα πολύ όμορφα. Α, πατήσαμε εδώ και ανοίξαμε αυτό, αλλά ο φρουρός πήγε το έκλεισε. Ωραία. Θες είχαμε τον Δημήτρη και λίγο...
Watch out! You'll have that done on top of us.
Τι είναι με γρίφους και με τέτοια αυτό?
Ναι.
Ναι, τα αγαπημένα μου.
Leave it alone.
Μη τι δείχνεις
That
τέτοια
closet is
κατάσταση.
over 3,000
Eh?
years old.
Μη τι δείχνεις τέτοια λέω.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Α. Άρα πρέπει να βρούμε τρόπο. Αυτός πηγαίνει εδώ, ο αστυνομικός, μία εδώ, μία εδώ, μία εδώ. Πηγαίνει γύρω γύρω. Και πρέπει να βρούμε το λομπινό. Πού μπορεί να είναι? Οπ. Πού μπορεί να είναι? Ρουζαρί. Ωραία, για να δούμε τι λέει. Ωραία. Άρα έχουμε βρει αυτό που είδαμε σε αυτό το παλιό, σε αυτό εδώ το παλιό που έχουμε βρει, που το δώσαμε στην Νίκο, τον Πάπυρο. Βρήκαμε μέσα ένα αντικείμενο και πρέπει να βρούμε έναν φίλο, το γνωστό το Λομπινό, αυτός να μας δώσει πληροφορίες. Γιατί θα κάνουμε next, μας διέφυγε κάτι εδώ μήπως?
Pardon me. Oui, monsieur.
Για να δούμε, μήπως.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John D.
Τι με σκάς?
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
D was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
Πώς λέγεται, Broken Sword.
Broken Sword, ναι. Και έχει 5 η σειρά αυτή.
Όταν βάζεις τίτλο,
Ναι.
να βάζεις πρώτα το τίτλο του παιχνιδιού.
Α.
Γιατί άμα θέλει κάποιος να δει αυτό το παιχνίδι το συγκεκριμένο, εσύ έχεις βάλει το Old Time. Τώρα το Old Time ποιος θα το πατήσει για search?
Άρα, κάτσε πάμε να το φτιάξουμε τώρα επί το
Ναι,
πουλάκι μου.
Broken Sword, Παύλα, Old Time, κατάλαβες, and chill. Καλύτερο. Έτσι πιστεύω εγώ.
Ναι. Είναι η σειρά που την έχω ονομάσει, αλλά... Broken Sword. Α, το φτιάξουμε τώρα εδώ επί τόπου.
Αλλά όποιος θέλει να δει Broken Sword, κατάλαβες, στο Twitch, θα πατήσει Broken Sword και δεν θα βγεις εσύ, ας πούμε, μέσα. Ή θα βγεις τελευταίος.
Yeah. Ωραία. Άψογο. Λοιπόν, να ρωτήσουμε
How
για
is
την
the
κάπου.
alarm bell triggered?
Για να δούμε.
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
Μας λέει
It
δηλαδή.
strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Do you know anything about medieval...
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar.
Άρα είναι το τρίποδο
Though
αυτό στο
people
κέντρο.
often
Αυτό
mistake
πρέπει να
me
το
for
πάρουμε
one.
λογικά.
It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes.
Θεωρώ.
They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park.
Αλλά πού είναι ο Λομπινό?
No,
Ψάχνουμε
no,
το...
no.
Αν είδες το
They
προηγούμενο.
assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Ψάχνουμε τον
Whereas
Λομπινό, τον
you
φίλο
know
της
next to
Νίκο.
nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is I am no scholar, not like Monsieur Lobineau.
Αυτόν.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied hard and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
At your age? Dream on. Would you like to shake my hand?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur.
Αυτό ήταν άσχετο. Ωραία.
Thanks for your help.
Άρα λέω να επιστρέψουν στην Νίκο.
No, monsieur.
Okay.
Άμα βάλουμε αυτό το σίδερο πάνω. Όχι. Άκουσα κανείς μια γίδα.
Δεν ακούω το παιχνίδι εγώ. Δεν ακούγεται ρε φίλε.
Λοιπόν, ξαναπάμε στην Νίκο. Μπορούμε. Πού είναι. Πάμε λίγο να χαιρετήσουμε, να δούμε τη φίλη μας την Νίκο, να δούμε τι θα μας πει.
Hi. I've been to the Crew Museum.
Did you speak to Lobineau?
No, he wasn't there.
Δεν ήταν εκεί.
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard
Έχεις
of
μουσική, άρα
Lochmarn.
καλά πας.
I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine. You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
Όχι.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a 4th series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marn must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Οπ.
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Peakram's gem is important, why don't you visit Loch Marn?
On my own?
Ου,
I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly?
Ιρλανδία. Όπα.
Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clan's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Αυτό είναι το manuscript.
There's a guy with a
Και αυτό
sword
είναι το
and a
tripod που είδαμε μέσα στο
bull.
μουσείο.
Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. A knight with a crystal ball.
Μια
The
κρυστάλλινη
knight
μπάλα.
scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
Και εδώ.
There's a guy working on a loom.
Και έχει κάτι καράβια πίσω. Και εδώ είναι δύο
Look
τύποι.
there, 2 guys on the same horse.
Οκ.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Πάμε Ιρλανδία. Για να μιλήσω στην κυρία αυτή.
Oh, hi.
Δεν το θυμάμαι καθόλου, να ξέρεις.
How's your girlfriend?
She's not my girlfriend.
Maybe not yet, but I see your paths entwined in the future.
Πόσο δίκιο έχει να
I
ξέρετε.
doubt it. See you later.
That's right,
Καλά και το
monsieur.
2 είναι ακραίο, να ξέρεις. Οπ. Airport. Few hours later. Φτάσαμε...
I passed the castle on the way into Loch Marne. The castle where Peagram's excavation was located.
I tugged at the plastic cover, but it didn't move.
Για να μιλήσω στον κύριο.
Hi there.
What?
Το φρεάτιο
What's your name,
δεν
kid?
έχει άλλο χρώμα.
Who are you calling kid?
Μμμ.
Who the hell are you?
I'm George Stobart, and I'm with the good guys.
You're a head case, mister. A few sandwiches short of a picnic.
Cut the crap and tell me your name.
Liam McGuire.
What are you doing hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm on the run from me dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny down his evil throat. And there's me poor old mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried to buy her medicine. Chopped firewood for Father Mahoney till me fingers bled. The old skinflint cheated me
Δεν
too.
νομίζω.
But I took the penny
Νομίζω ότι είναι
and
λίγο
she gave
παπάντζας.
me back home. Look, ma, says I, see what your darling son has earned with his own sweat and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot. I'm off to Dublin, heavy drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's why I runned away.
Something in the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly truthful. Compared to him, Huckleberry Finn was a candidate for Altar Boy of the Year. Do you know a man called Peagram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
Can you tell me where I'd find Peagram?
No, I can't, 'cause he's not here now, but if I sees him, I'll ask him.
Do you know what Peagram was doing in the castle?
Digging for buried treasure. Jewels and gold and skeletons, like in the films.
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
Here in Loch Marne, they all dress like clowns.
The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic.
Jesus. It's just like that film I saw. There's this clown, see, and he's after this kid who saw him kill a guy. He tries to warn the sheriff, only no one believes him. Then, while he's in the tub, the clown cuts him up with a chainsaw.
My God, that doesn't sound suitable for a kid like you.
Who are you calling a kid? I'm 25.
Yeah, right. You're not a day over 14.
Oh no, it's 25 that I am. Married with a car and 3 kids. 10 kids if you count the wives.
What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
Για να το
What do you want to
ρωτήσουμε λίγο.
know?
Well, can I get inside?
No, it's locked up.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only, what do you want to know? Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
No,
What is it you're covering up? Is it something you're scared of?
I ain't scared of nothing.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle.
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't?
Then I'm taking you back to school.
Oh, there's a ghost. It's called the Phantom of Loch Marne.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what that dig was about. I just reached the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What sort of noise?
A horrible snuffling and snorting, like O'Brien's pig, only worst. It was coming from inside the castle.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty, The moon was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate. The yard was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but me legs had lost their stuffing.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too. I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes from the shadows, all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow.
Ψεύτης είναι αυτός.
I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the dark. I was so scared. Why, I fell off the bloody wall.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The bloody place is haunted.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Για να δούμε αυτό που μου ανατάσσει.
I tugged at the trapdoor, but it was locked from the inside.
Α, δεν μπορούμε να το... Έχουμε το σίδερο από τους υπονόμους. Πάμε μέσα στην πάπα.
My name's George.
Pleased to meet you, mister. My name's Fitzgerald.
Can I get you another drink?
Oh, no, thank you. I shouldn't be drinking at all. I'm on tablets for my nerves. More than a pint and I'll pass out.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
He's the archaeologist, isn't he?
That's right. Did you work at Professor Pegram's dig?
What gave you that idea?
What can you tell me about the castle?
There's nothing there. Just an old ruin.
How old?
I really couldn't tell you.
Have you ever explored the castle yourself?
I used to play there sometimes, when I was a kid. Then one of the little ones fell off the wall, broke his head and died. We didn't go there anymore.
You haven't been up there recently?
No.
See you later.
Okay, αυτό τι είναι?
It was a beer-stained piece of toweling. Hi there, old-timer. What? Nasty cold you've got there. As soon as the words left my lips, I regretted them.
Is there such a thing as a cold which isn't nasty? I put the question to Father Mahoney. Father, says I, why were we born to suffer snot?
What did he say?
He said, it's my reward for being out all night like a sinner. Pious prig. Anyway, this is no ordinary cold. 'Tis the hay fever.
Pollinosis?
Thank you. You're not a policeman, are you?
Excuse me?
Police? No. I'd know it if you were.
What's that you're making?
It's a necklace, me bucko.
Oh, sure. Made out of steel wire?
That's right. A necklace for my pretty one. When my little lover feels it round her slender neck, she'll be mine. All mine.
Ω, καλά.
Can I buy you a beer?
Very kind, I'm sure. But I don't drink the stuff Leary sells.
What's wrong with it?
I've seen what it can do.
Do you know Pegram, the archaeologist?
That's the scrawny fellow who was poking around at the castle, isn't it? No, I don't know him.
Can you tell me how to get into the castle?
Don't even think about it, me bucko. Lochmarn Castle is haunted.
That's what the kid outside told me, but I don't believe it.
Then you're a fool.
Ghosts don't bother me. I still want to visit that castle.
You can't. It's not open to the public.
There's no one around to stop me, is there?
That's right. Nothing human, anyhow.
Have you ever seen the ghost?
To be sure. With me very own eyes.
Can you describe the ghost?
It was horrible. A wee stunted beast, long beak, straggly, flappy wings.
Are you sure it wasn't a wild animal? A rabbit or a skunk or something?
Skunk? In Lochmarn? That'll be the day. No, That was a ghost, to be sure.
I think I know what you saw on the castle wall.
I know what I saw.
I don't think so. It was the kid, McGuire.
What?
He was up on the wall last Tuesday night. He thought you were the Phantom of Lochmarn.
Oh!
Could you use this towel?
I could, but it wouldn't be much use for anything else.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
I can't tell without my glasses.
I'll see you later. Top of the morning to you.
I beg your pardon.
Well, that's what you Irish say, isn't it?
Do you want something? Or are you just flaunting your xenophobia?
Well, I was trying to be sociable.
Is it a room you're after?
That's not a bad idea. Do you have a vacancy?
I could, if you don't mind waiting until the last guest checks out.
No problem. When will that be?
When the Undertaker comes to collect him.
I'll try a glass of beer, please.
Is this your first pint of real ale?
Well, I guess so. What's real ale, anyhow?
Beer that's brewed from natural ingredients to traditional methods. It shouldn't be kept under pressure or refrigerated. And finally, it should have a good body and distinctive character.
In other words, it's flat and worn with bits in, and it makes you fall over.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Indeed I do. Are you a friend of his, by any chance?
Oh, no. I'm just trying to track him down.
Me too. That son of a bitch should be locked away.
Ooh.
Did Pegram stay here?
Yes, he did. 6 nights plus breakfast.
Have you served any, clowns recently?
No. You're the first today.
Hello.
Οπ. Καλησπέρα. Δημήτρη μου. Πήγαμε Ιρλανδία.
Μου πέσε το Mount από Κάραζαν. Mythic. Dungeon.
Look, I gotta be going.
Συγχαρητήρια. Στο Night Bane.
Όχι το Night Bane, το άλογο.
Αλήθεια, το Attumen.
Ναι.
Το πάρε. Έχω να το δω αιώνες.
Και βαριόμαι και λέω δεν πάω, δεν γαμιέται.
Έχουμε λίγο το part 2, δεν πάω περιμένουμε. Εδώ πέρα έχουμε... Για πάμε λίγο.
Κάνει stream.
Ναι.
Έλα, γιατί δεν μου το έβγαλε. Δεν μου αρέσουν αυτά.
Πάμε λίγο, πάμε να στριμάρουμε λίγο part 2. Πήγα Ιρλανδία. Είμαστε Ιρλανδία. Και... Ωραία.
As soon as the old guy looked away, I grabbed his piece of wire.
Ωραία. Του πήραμε το σύρμα.
Maybe not.
Από τον παππού. Όταν δεν κοίταζε. Αχα.
Μπήκα.
Hi, do you speak English?
Well, no. What if I was to say no? An implication of cognizance shrouded in denial. A pretty poser of a paradox indeed.
I gave him the look I'd perfected when I was 12 and was going to be the greatest hypnotist.
Ναι, μόλις.
It was a killer.
Are you attempting to hypnotize me, or is it the constipation you're suffering?
I was a little out of practice. Have you seen Professor Pegram?
No. He's packed up and gone.
Do you happen to know where?
Back in England, I suppose.
What can you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry to say. Most of its history is long forgotten. But if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years old.
Ooh.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, but I wouldn't trust him. His eyes are too close together.
Τα έκανες όλα στο μπαρ.
Πήρα ένα σύρμα. Και μια πετσέτα.
46 followers.
Πάμε λίγο, είμαστε κοντά στους 50. Πάμε λίγο. Οκ. Για να εξερευνήσουμε λίγο από εδώ. Δεν έχει κάτι.
It was a short piece of wire, twisted into a
Την
rough
πετσέτα
circle.
είπες,
Ναι.
It was a rectangle of toweling, printed with the words, Nagopolian stout builds body.
Έχει εδώ ένα κουτί.
It was a featureless plastic box, firmly attached to the
Ναι.
wall of the building.
Και εδώ πέρα ένα...
It was a trap door in the sidewalk.
Ναι. Εδώ στο Maguire του μιλήσαμε, για κάτι θα το ξαναμιλήσω.
Hey,
What?
do you know anything about Pegram's Dig?
He wouldn't let me anywhere near it. I offered to help, but he chased me off. I didn't want to see his smelly old hole anyhow.
Did anyone from the village work at the dig?
Pegram bought some students and bums with him. He reckoned no one in Lochmarn would know what to look for. The only local guy who worked for him was Sean Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald says he's never been anywhere near the
Αυτός μέσα που
dig.
He's
καθότανε.
having you on, mister.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Για να δούμε, γιατί μας είπε όχι. Γιατί μας είπε ότι δεν δούλευε.
Mr. Fitzgerald? McGuire says he saw you working at the dig. What's more, he saw you talking with Pegram.
I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get caught.
I need to talk to Professor Pegram, if he's still alive.
What do you mean? Is he in danger?
Yeah, you too, if I'm right.
You're not from the Social Security.
Hell no. What makes you think that?
Well, I was claiming benefit at the same time I was working for Pegram.
I'm not in a position to make judgments, Sean. That's between you and your conscience. All I want is to talk to Pegram about the gem.
But he's not here.
I know that. But he left that package with you, didn't he? So where did Pegram go?
I don't know. I swear it. He came to see me early this morning. Said he was leaving. He asked me to give this package to a guy called Marquet.
Ooh.
Show me what's in the package, Sean.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I promised the professor.
So what? You didn't have any qualms about your benefit scam. So where's the harm in taking a peek inside Pegram's package?
You don't know these people. I can't. I don't dare.
Έλα.
This is your last chance to show me the package, Fitzgerald. I've been patient with you, but now it's time to kick ass.
But he'll kill me.
Who will?
The man from Paris. Jack Marquet. Pegram told me if I gave him the package unopened, I'd hear no more about it. But if I double-crossed Marquet, I'd be dead.
I'll deal with Jacques Marquet. Give the package to me.
No. Why should I trust you? I don't know who to trust anymore. I wish I'd never even heard of the Lochmarn gem.
Oh.
Hey, I just seen a big red...
Get out of here, McGuire. Come back when you're old enough.
What's the lad howling about?
A big red sports car. Sean Fitzgerald's been runned over.
Get out! Noisy little tyke.
Maybe you should send out some medicinal brandy maker.
Oh, yes. And who's going to pay for it?
Not me.
Me too, neither.
I was telling the truth about Fitzy, mister.
Okay, calm down. Now tell me what happened.
I was standing here, minding me own business, when I saw this beautiful red sports car coming up over the hill. Would you look at that, says I, and I going over to take a closer look. Next thing, Fitzy comes tearing out of the pub and nearly knocks me on my ass, but the car just flies at him. It was too fast for poor old Fitzy, and hit him an awful wallop. He goes flying up on top. Jesus, says I thought he was a goner. Next thing, the driver hops out. and I couldn't believe my eyes. He was dressed like a bloody pixie.
Ο Καν. Ω, μάγκα.
Hey,
What?
Μας πει τίποτα άλλο.
Did this pixie have a scar on his cheek?
I couldn't see. He was wearing a stupid mask. Are you a special agent?
Sorry to disappoint you, kid, but I'm not. Did Fitzgerald drop anything when he was hit?
Ναι.
I didn't see. It all happened so
Το
fast.
κουτί εδώ άνοιξε.
Maybe the package fell somewhere out of sight. See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
I pushed the switch down, but in doing so it snapped off in my hand.
Οκ. Εγώ είδα κάτι αστραφτερό στο βίντεο. Όχι.
The plastic cover had been smashed and broken away,
Την κάρτα δεν τη βάζει
revealing
εκεί.
a switch.
Την κάρτα.
Μέσα πήγαινε.
Αυτό εδώ πέρα τι
It was
είναι όμως?
impossible to return the switch to its original position.
Αυτό εδώ τι είναι?
Excuse me. Yes, sir?
Δεν παίρνω άλλη μπύρα.
Look, I gotta be going. Hi, my name's Stobart, George Stobart.
Hello there, mister. What can I do for you?
Can you tell me anything about the castle on the hill?
Oh, I don't know much about anything. You should ask Mr. O'Brien here. He does joined up writing. Would you be one of them history fellas yourself?
That's right, Professor Stobart, Miskatonic University.
You're an archaeologist,
Θα μ' κολλήσει θα σου
and
πω.
you're asking us about the castle.
Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien. The gentleman was talking to me. How
Έξε
come
να
you
έρθουν
didn't
τα
leave
hints.
with the others?
I didn't know they'd
Τι ωραίο παιχνίδι είναι.
Oh,
Μίτσο.
yes. Packed their spades and shovels and away they went.
Seems I missed all the excitement.
Έχει
What
πολύ να μας
excitement.
πω, όπως έτσι.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
Do I know him? Do I know the good professor himself? No, I don't. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know him to talk to.
Do you know anything about Pegram's excavation?
Only that he didn't have the right tools for the job. What he needed was shovels and a JCB.
Pegram was digging for historical remains, not coal.
Is that a fact? What the hell for?
It's the science of archaeology, Pat. Understanding how people used to live by what they've left behind. One day archaeologists might be digging up our remains.
Imagine that, Mr. O'Brien. I wonder what they'll find.
Well, it won't be arrowheads and beakers. Fast food cartons and flavoured condoms, more likely.
Did anyone from the village work at Pegram's dig?
I tried it myself, but that high and mighty history man called me incontinent. What a nerve. Hadn't I dug more holes than the rest of them put together?
Aren't you going to help Fitzgerald?
What does he need my help for?
Didn't you hear what McGuire said? He's been hit by a car.
What an idiot. People call me stupid, but I've never done that.
Don't you feel any sympathy for poor Fitzgerald?
He never bothered about me, so why should I?
Bye for now. He wasn't listening.
Okay.
It was a trap door and I tugged at the trap door, but it was locked from the inside.
Ωραία. Τι άλλα στοιχεία έχουμε εδώ?
Pushing with all my strength got me nowhere. They didn't budge. I really need to start working out. The gates were made of solid, age-blackened wood.
Hi, it's me again.
So I see. What now?
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle. His own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvelous! I think I should start my inquiries in the bar.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay. The stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland. I pushed my fingers into the narrow crack. It went back several inches into the rock. I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
Καλά άκουσα μια γίδα πριν.
The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare.
Την έκανα. Βασικά παίζει να το έλυσα χωρίς να... Τώρα μπορώ να πάω στην τέτοια σκάλα. Καλά.
As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris. I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints. I reached into the sack, but it was empty.
Okay. Τι είναι?
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand. As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand.
Oh.
I placed my fingers in the 5 impressions left by the fallen stone. It was weird. They fit perfectly. I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled. I smoothed the plaster level with the sand. It was my first experience of home improvement.
Okay.
I smoothed... The patch of sand where the statue had fallen was covered with a dense sprinkling of plaster.
Άρα θα ξανασπρώξω το τέτοιο. Όχι, δεν μπορώ. Α, η πέτσετα που πήραμε. Αρχίζει νερό. Λίγο στόκο.
I squeezed the towel as hard as I could, but it was barely damp.
Άρα πρέπει να βρούμε λίγο νεράκι.
I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened.
Να βρούμε λίγο νερό.
I tried in vain to move the panel.
Πεθαίνω με τους διαλόγους, πραγματικά δεν μπορώ. I tried in vain. Μάτε. Δεν υπάρχει. Ωραία. Πού μπορεί να έχει τώρα λίγο.
It was a rectangle of toweling printed with the words Nagopoleon Stout.
Μόνο στο μαγαζί μπορεί να έχει νερό.
Ναι, όντως. Όντως. Πάμε λίγο. Ήσυχα με τα δάχτυλα σε τρύπες. Ήσυχα, ήρεμα. Ήρεμα. Λέει ο Γιώργης. Μ' αρέσει να βάζω τα δάχτυλά μου σε τρύπες. Γενικά. Ωραία. Θα παραγγείλω μια μπύρα.
Όχι. Μίλα στον μπάρμαν.
Το πιο λογικό θα ήταν αυτό δηλαδή, όντως.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
May I borrow this towel?
Sure you can, on one condition.
What's that?
You keep it away from old Ron.
Who's Ron?
That's him in the corner, with the hygiene problem.
Oh.
Την κάρτα.
Look, I gotta be going.
Γιατί λες την κάρτα?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Τώρα δείξει την κάρτα.
Do you recognize the name on this card?
No. Should I?
Nah, it was a long shot. Do you recognize this matchbook?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Look.
Για να δώσουμε την πετσέτα στον παππού. Παππού.
Hello again.
What?
I'm looking for Sean Fitzgerald. Have you seen him?
Never heard of him.
Don't you come from around here?
No.
I'm from California.
That's your problem.
What does this matchbook mean to you?
Nothing. Go away and stop bothering me.
Αυτό το παπουλητήριο που κουνιέται τι είναι αυτό? Μπορείς να το πατήσεις.
I'll see you later.
Πρέπει να κλείσει διαλόγου. Η πόρτα η άλλη μπορεί να...
Where do you think you're going?
Excuse me?
No customers behind the bar. Ever.
Okay. Άρα πρέπει να βρω έναν τρόπο να διώξω τον τύπο από εκεί. Πού το πήγε να φύγει?
Excuse me.
Θα πάρω μια
Yes,
μπύρα,
sir.
δεν πειράζει.
May I have another beer, please?
Certainly, sir. Same again?
Yeah, please. How is this stuff made?
That's the secret of the master brewer, sir.
Καλά.
Each barrel is lovingly manhandled in time-honored fashion, suspended on skillfully tied ropes of the finest hemp, lowered into the cellar, utilizing the forces of original gravity, like manna from heaven. I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I could fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional electrician.
Α, τώρα του
At
δείχνουμε
least the
την
glass
κάρτα.
washer is still working.
Κάνε.
It's not my dear, is it?
It just so happens I'm an electrician. Check out my credentials.
Άρα έπρεπε να πάρουμε μια
Well,
μπύρα.
now, isn't that marvelous? Here's a house bedeviled with faulty wiring of a wayward nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer.
Okay.
And when you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
Yeah. Θα κοιτάξω όλα τα pumps. Έχει λιώσει ο άλλος εκεί με το φτέρνισμα.
I couldn't see anything obviously wrong with the machine. I figured it must be the wiring.
Και εδώ θα του βάλουμε το σύρμα. Όχι.
It was an electric glass washer.
Το άλλο που φωτίζει, ρε. Η μπρίζα.
I used all my knowledge of electrical engineering to examine the plug. I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire.
Νάτος.
I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions.
Πεθαίνω.
Excuse me, Mr. Leary. I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half pint to that man, on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
Ευχαριστώ, θεία. Όπα, προχωράμε.
I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen. I pulled the lever and the bolt creaked back into place.
Από έχει ένα φακό, λέει εδώ πέρα μέσα. Δεν λέω κάτι να κάνει ντεράκ. Θα κατεβάσω αυτό.
Τι έγραψε το τράβηξε το τέτοιον? Τι έγραψε το τράβηξε το διακοπή?
I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen.
Έξω στο... Εδώ, που την ξεκλειδώσαμε την πόρτα. Αυτό εδώ.
I lifted the trap door and an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below.
Stale beer,
I looked down on a stone-tiled floor, way too far to jump.
Oh.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough genes to go round. I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
Πω φίλε.
Now I could see. I spotted Mr. Leary's flashlight easily.
Πήραμε το φακό.
Then I noticed a flash of light. Something sparkling beneath the open trap door.
Να το διαμάντι. Πόσο κολόφαρκος
είναι. It was Pigram's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
I could. For sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Τι παλικάρι είναι αυτό.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari. The slow drip of water barely dampened the towel.
Άρα θέλουμε...
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water.
Δεν μπορείς να το κάνει με την πέτσετα στα χέρια.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
Αυτό μου αρέσει αυτό το παιχνίδι. Βρεγμένη πετσέτα στην τσέπη στο inventory.
Κλειδιά, ιστορίες, σίδερα. Λοιπόν, εδώ μάλλον είμαστε έτοιμοι. Πάμε ρε θηρίο, George. Πάμε ρε Γιώργη. Πάμε ρε Γιώργο. Αυτό το σίδερο το πήρα.
Μας η κατσίκα έχει στραβώσει.
Η κατσίκα του που μας μιλάει. Αν πρέπει να το ελέγξω. Νάτος ο γύψος.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster.
Βεβαίως.
I eased the solid piece of plaster from the center. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
Βάλουμε πλακάκια τώρα.
Όπα, να το.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
Πώς σας φάνηκε? Ω καλά, πού πας ρε μεγάλε, πού πας? Α, άνοιξε φακό. Mon façon. Mon façon. Πάρουμε το George.
There wasn't anyone that I needed to call.
Okay. Τι είναι?
I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV column. Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office. In fact, drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Nico. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Hey, Nico, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. See you tomorrow, Nico. Slonsha. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Imelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening. He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly. I shall let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
Merlin? Oh my God. Merlin's the killer. I'd better get over there and warn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Imelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing, but I couldn't just let her die. I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here. I had to warn Imelda before it was too late.
Ναι.
Fixed tight. Presumably to stop critics stealing it. Who else would want to? I unhooked the first wire.
Δεν ξέρω γιατί το κάνω αυτό, αλλά δεν έχει σημασία.
I released the second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright. If I could deconstruct this, I could deconstruct anything.
Ναι, γιατί αν πάμε στην... Ναι, αλλά δεν δοκίμασα την πόρτα. Οπότε μιας που έγινε αυτό, μάλλον πρέπει να μπούμε από εκεί.
Locked? No way was I going to break through a door like that. The intercom system wasn't working. Bad sign. Somebody had cut
Άρα ναι,
the wire.
ναι. Απλά τα κάνουμε έτσι. Πάμε λίγο ρε Νικό. Πάμε ρε Νικό, ανέβα ρε κορίτσι μου. Ανέβα και στο άγαλμα και θα σκοτωθείς εκεί πέρα, μα πεις κανένα.
The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it. No.
Τι θα μπορούσαμε να ασκήσουμε?
No.
Τον ελέφαντα μήπως?
No.
Δοκίμασε τα όλα. Με τον ελέφαντα δεν νομίζω.
Καλά, αυτό το εργαλείο, το καψούλι μας έχει βγάλει.
Πολύ εργαλείο.
Πραγματικά. Οπ. Οπ. Καλά. Με τίποτα εδώ.
Με τι κόλλα το είχα να πω, τοξική κόλλα, δεν μπορούσα να το ξεκολλήσει.
Πάει η Μέλντα.
My God, I'm too late. Imelda. Oh no.
Nico?
Don't worry, you're going to be all right.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. Absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Nico.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Imelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
You didn't know my father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why? Even in death, Imelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace. I opened it. Inside was a tiny gold key. I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
Οπ. Και τώρα, ναι ρε ηγέτη, ναι. Αυτό που είδαμε εκεί στην αρχή. Αυτό το κλειδάκι εδώ για τον ελέφαντα.
In the dim light, I caught the reflection of something metallic. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. It was a bug. Oh, chère cousine, you left me a little present. You shouldn't have. You don't scare me. Espèce de...
Α, έτσι είχαν βάλει κοριό, Άρα είχαν μπει μες στο σπίτι της.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to
Ευχαριστώ
Cochon's.
πάρα πολύ για το host. Εντάξει. Λοιπόν.
I took out the key.
Α, τι ξέρει η Μέλντα.
I couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside.
Πώς σου φάνηκε η Μέλντα? Η φωτογραφία
It was a
ολόκληρη.
photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box.
Τρίσομ, παιδιά.
I felt as if a black hole had
Καλησπέρα,
swallowed
Δημήτρη
me up.
μου. Καλησπέρα, φίλε, γίνεται πανικός. Καλησπέρα, αγόρι μου. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για το host και
Behind them, a
πάλι.
village was being razed to the ground. Its people butchered.
Συνεχίζουμε λίγο broken swords, out of the Templars.
Next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father.
Όλα έχουν έρθει.
There was a letter. I feared there was even worse to come.
Συνήθως το βγάζει. Νομίζω το έχω ρυθμίσει να το κάνει αυτόματο host που είσαι στα κανάλια μου όταν είσαι offline, παιδί μου, αλλά πρέπει να πας στο παράθυρο του διαχειριστή στο Twitch. Αν και νομίζω το δείχνει, αλλά δεν ξέρω ακριβώς πώς δουλεύει. Εγώ το αφήνω όποτε παίζεις, το αφήνω ανοιχτό το παράθυρο του διαχειριστή και το βλέπω εκεί και βλέπω ότι μπαίνεις δηλαδή. Κατευθείαν. Γιατί αλλιώς δεν ξέρω, δεν είμαι σίγουρος αν το κάνει. Και δεν ξέρω αν σου βγάζει μήνυμα. Όποτε μπαίνεις, αν σου το βγάζει κατευθείαν. Λες. Ίσως. Εγώ το κάνω συνέχεια έτσι κι αλλιώς. Το βάζω μέσα και να γίνεται λίγο πανικός. Μου ξεκλειδώσανε το account μου στο LOL. Αυτό σου λέω μόνο. Θα με κουβαλήσεις? Αναπηρικό καροτσάκι, αράμ.
Hotel St. George,
Δεν έχω ιδέα τι
Algiers,
γίνεται μέσα εκεί.
Friday.
Δεν έχω
My
ιδέα.
darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you're really working for or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage.
Τι σου είπα ότι είναι θρήσο? Τι θα σας είπα, παιδιά? Είχαμε ερωτικό τρίγωνο.
They would find me and they would kill
Τρίγωνο
us
του
both.
πάθους.
Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry.
Μ' αρέσουν αυτά.
Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No. They'll just give you a funny job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all. He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
Extra cheesy. Θα πάρεις τον Γιώργο τώρα? Τον George?
Τον George.
Αναχωριέται λίγο. Και the next morning...
I knew it was George.
Hey,
For a
can you use the
moment, I
garlic
was
lemon
tempted
oil?
to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later.
Δεν
But
νομίζω είναι ο
then,
Γιώργος.
come in.
Hello, George.
Ήρθε αυτό.
So, where
Ιρλανδία
did you
Παρίσι.
stay last night?
At
Σε ένα
McDonald's.
απόγευμα.
I got to
Καλά.
drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead,
And you say Pigram has disappeared?
without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templars gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
Ναι, το πρώτο Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars, το Director's Cut. Να ξέρεις, έχεις παίξει κανένα? Πεθαίνω με το storyline. Καλά, το 2, παιδιά, είναι εντάξει. Ήταν τρομακτικό καλό και αλλά αυτά έχω να παίξω λίγο πάνω πολλά χρόνια. Και τώρα είναι σαν να βλέπω νέο game. Αυτό. Και έχουν χαθεί όλα αυτά τα point and click. Με ψήνει και λίγο. Τρελαίνομαι για αυτά τα adventure. Το Smoking Mirror, ναι. Το 3 είναι νομίζω το Angel of Death. Μετά ποιο είναι, Δημήτρη, το...
Sleeping Dragon νομίζω.
Ναι. Όχι, το Sleeping Dragon είναι το 3. Ή όχι. Ναι. Angel of Death. Και τελευταίο το...
Serpent σε κάτι.
Καλά, εντάξει. Κοίτα τώρα story εδώ πέρα, τι έχουμε εδώ πέρα. Για να δούμε λίγο για το gem. Είναι άψογο. Βλέπετε καλά τους υπότιτλους. Ή θέλεις να μεγαλώσω λίγο το ratio κάτι. Α, το πήρε πάλι το σίδερο.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for
Ωραία.
Lobino at the Kron
Πάμε να βρούμε
Museum.
επιτέλους αυτόν τον
And
Λομπινό,
why
τον
don't you
Κοτσίδα.
speak also as
Πάμε να βρούμε τον Κοτσίδα στο
Anything
μουσείο.
else I can do for you while I'm out?
Το 3 είναι
Shopping,
το
a trip to
Sleeping
the
Dragon, το
laundromat.
Smoking Mirror είναι το
Just
2
take care of yourself.
και το 5 είναι το Serpent Curse.
Για πάμε λίγο. Άμα κάτσετε να δείτε και το πρώτο part, να βγάλετε λίγο νόημα. Το έχει μέσα.
I so much wanted to talk to George
Προσπαθώ να μην
about
μιλάω
everything
πάρα
that had
πολύ για να μην
happened.
σας καταστρέφει
But I knew I never
το
could.
immersion.
My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
Λοιπόν, Μουζέο Κρούν. Το Μουσείο Κρούν. Πάλι εδώ αυτός.
Pardon me. Oui, monsieur?
Καλά.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod?
Thanks for your help.
Άμα πάω στο αστυνομικό τμήμα, μήπως τον βρω.
Ναι. Ποιο ψάχνει το μους?
Το Λομπινό. Δεν είναι στο μουσείο. Έχουμε βρει. I need to find what Montfaucon is all about. Something to do with hanging man. Άρα, Montfaucon. Για πάμε λίγο. Πάμε λίγο να δούμε. Μας έχει ξεκλειδώσει κάποια άλλη. Rougerie, poste de police. Poste de police. Α, ο μου. Μήπως μπορούμε να πάρουμε κανένα τηλέφωνο. Ποτέ δεν ξέρεις. Μήπως έχει βγάλει κάποια contact. Πώλησα. Οκ, πρέπει να πάτε στο back. Λοιπόν, θα ρωτήσω το μου.
Sergeant Moo?
Yes.
Έχουν μια καμένη λάπ... Μπράβο, Νατάσα, που την παρατήρησες.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur. Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic, in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
Oh, man.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur.
He also calls himself Thomas Merlin.
I'm sorry, Monsieur Stobart. I don't know him. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume. See you later, Sergeant.
It was just some police paperwork, a search warrant.
Δεν έχουμε κάτι άλλο εδώ. Αλλά μας έδωσε στοιχεία για το νοσοκομείο, λογικά. Hospital. Ναι.
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Καλά.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Really?
If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
Πεθαίνω που λέει συνέχεια.
I'm looking for a guy named Jacques Marquet. In which department does he work? He doesn't. He's a patient.
I
see. You do realize there are strict policies regarding visiting hours, don't you?
Πεθαίνω για σένα.
This is important. I have to talk to Marquet urgently. We make no exceptions to the rules. It's a matter of life and death. The well-oiled running of this hospital is a matter of life and death. That's why we have rules. I think I ought to warn you that Marquet is not what he seems. Explain yourself. He's in league with a bunch of guys who want to take over the world. Nonsense. Besides, Marquet's employers have paid in advance for one of our most exclusive private rooms. Could you tell me who Marquet's employers are? Certainly not.
Σιγάμε μου λέει.
Does the name Thomas Merlin mean anything to you?
No, it does not.
Thanks for your help.
Ναι. Θα μιλήσω στο μωράκι εδώ.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plants. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Ναι, φυσικά.
Yeah, I'm his long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Άρα η κάρτα.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's Nurse Grendel's ward.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well-disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock, alarm call. 6:10, bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2.
Allah.
And good luck.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow.
Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now. Hey now, you can't go in there.
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
Ah.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered.
Για κάποιο λόγο θέλω να μπούμε στην πόρτα τώρα.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
Πάμε. Τώρα που φεύγει. Έλα.
Μ' αρέσει πάει από γύρω.
Δεν μου βγάλει να πάω.
Μάλλον κάτι άλλο αργότερα.
Ό,τι να είναι. Aha.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
You'll need this, Doctor.
Καλησπέρα.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box.
Μάρκο μου.
And a stunning smile.
Απλά να πω το γεια μου πριν μόνο να
Could you
συνεχίσω.
take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmatch.
Πες με Broken Sword. Ελπίζω να τα απολαύσεις.
Παρακολουθώ, φίλε μου. Ήδη.
Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room
Βιβλίο.
at the end of
Ένα
the ward.
βιβλίο.
He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeyer.
Απλά επειδή είναι ηχογραφήσεις δεν μπορώ να έχω το
strictly
Discord,
out of
καταλάβες.
bounds.
Λέει βλακεία. Κάνε δουλειά σου.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
Δώσε πόνο, Τεούλη, δώσε πόνο.
Παιδαρά μου είναι πάρα πολύ ωραίο game.
Cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern.
Πραγματικά, δηλαδή είναι...
Η Νατάσα βλέπει με αφοσίωση.
Δεν ξέρω. Είναι εδώ.
Μη σου πω πήγε να το κατεβάσει, κάτσε να παίξει κι αυτή.
Το καλό είναι ότι παίζουμε μαζί ρε και επειδή έχω καιρό να το παίξω, ας πούμε, ο Δημήτρης εδώ πέρα μου δίνει tips και τα θυμάμαι, αλλιώς κάποια δεν τα βρίσκα. Σίγουρα δηλαδή.
Για αλλιώς ακόμα στο συνδετήρα στην αρχή.
Πέθανα με το συνδετήρα στην αρχή. Πέθανα πραγματικά. Δηλαδή δεν τον έβλεπα καν.
Μάρκο, δεν έχω προλάβει να το κατεβάσω ακόμη.
Στα πρόθυρα είσαι,
Απόλαυσέ το.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Τι εδώ, τι είναι. Πάμε να μιλήσουμε σε αυτόν τον κύριο εδώ.
Hello, anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
You better believe it.
Αυτό τι είναι?
What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
I'll come back later.
Τι πήραμε?
It was a device used for measuring people's blood pressure. Hi, it's me again. I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job. Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
I'll come back later.
Doctor!
Χάσαμε. Τι έχουμε μιλήσει?
What is it? You haven't taken my blood pressure.
Ούτε τι...
Δεν θα σε αφήσει αυτός, μου φαίνεται, να πας στο κομμωδίνο του.
Κοίτα μην τον πεθάνουμε.
Seems fine to me. You're not doing it right.
Τι λάθος
Of
κάνουμε?
course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later.
Ποιος είναι ο Dr. Monroe, αυτός στην αρχή?
Ο Dr. Monroe, ναι. Άρα μήπως πρέπει να πάμε εκεί?
Ξέρω εγώ. Να σου πω μήπως παίρνουν την πίεση.
Αν είναι δυνατόν. Ποιος είναι αυτός ο γιατρός? Τι θα γίνει? Γιατί το πατάει? Bug.
Από Shadowland.
Τι έγινε, μπήκε Blizzard μέσα στο Α,
Excuse me, sir.
Μάλλον δεν του μιλά.
Just the man. You must be the new boy.
Yeah, I must be.
Well,
Σίγουρα,
stop
τον ξέχασε
wandering
κιόλας.
about and make yourself
Καλά.
useful. Bunny, come here, boy. This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him? He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real
Καλά.
doctor on the job.
τελείωσε, τελείωσε.
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
Excuse me, sir. Look what Nurse Grendel gave me, sir.
Ah, yes, very good. I'm glad to see you're carrying it with you.
Thanks for your help. Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Yes, sir?
Α,
So what's your name, kid?
Benoit, they call me Bunny.
Bunny? Jeez, and you don't mind?
Oh, I've gotten used to it.
Bunny.
Okay, Benoit, you're gonna help me.
Anything you say, sir.
Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
No, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
άρα πάνω...
Here, take this pressure gauge.
Ωραία.
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something.
Πάμε.
Follow me, Benoit.
I'm right behind you, sir.
Πάμε, φίλε μου. Πάμε να πάρεις την πίεση τον παππού.
Hey, Benoit!
Yes, sir?
Do you still have that gauge I gave you?
Oh, yes. What do you want me to do with it?
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
Έλα, παππούλη. Πήγαμε.
Πήγαινε τώρα από πίσω να πάρεις το κομμωδίνο.
Δεν έχει κάτι στο κομμωδίνο. Έπρεπε να περάσω. Δεν μ' άφηνε να περάσω εδώ, σε αυτόν. Αυτός εδώ τι είναι.
I'm Dr. Stobart.
Α.
Bonjour, docteur.
Ω, φίλε, έκσταση έχει πάρει.
Χάλια είναι.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine.
Έχει φορτωθεί σπίτι αυτός.
Δεν τον δεις μάτια.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you. He has anthrax.
Άνθρακα.
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine. I have to check he's still breathing.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks. Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, Doc.
Πώς τον έχουν κάνει έτσι.
Marquet?
Yes. I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lochmar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the assassins.
Oh, assassins.
Not me. I never inhaled.
So, you were sent in my place?
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grandmaster. Quickly tell him that I have found the tripod.
Ξέρω πολύ και εμείς το βρήκαμε το τρίποδο.
In Paris.
You have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them as for Gloucester. He has gone off
to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
He has a theory about the location of the...
Vai, Marquet.
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. If Herr Hagenmeier was to hear that...
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Ah, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for
Kala.
you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter! The door's locked. Help me, officer.
Stand back, monsieur.
Έτσι, μέσα στο νοσοκομείο.
Πάει. Οπ.
Hello, Georges.
I found Jacques Marquet.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah, killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man? Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window. Have you ever heard of the Hashiashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish. I'll never trust a doctor again. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves. I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one? Rosso or Sergeant Moo? Oh, but you're referring to Andre.
Καλησπέρα,
I'll
Γιώργο.
let you work it out.
Καλησπέρα, Γιώργο. Παίζουμε Broken Sword. Έχουμε παίξει το Part 1, παίζουμε το Part 2 σήμερα. Καλώς ήρθες. Καλώς ήρθες. Πού πρέπει να πάμε τώρα? Πάμε στο Μουσεκού. Μήπως έχει έρθει ο... Α, νάτος. Έλαντε.
I beg your pardon. Are you Andre Lobino?
Κουτσίδας.
That's me. You want my autograph?
Καλά.
No, I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much.
The shadow
Only a
of
few
the
Latin
Templars.
phrases. I was kind of hoping
Όλα
you'd
τα
help
στερεότυπα μαζί.
decipher the
Walking
pictures.
Soul.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of 2 men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
Ooh.
How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived.
Δεν μας έδειξε τι έγινε μέσα στην σπηλιά.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochmarn tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
But don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point. The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah. Not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. This friend who has the manuscript?
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
She lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
Τι πάει κι αυτός ο...
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Ωραία. Πάμε πίσω στην Νικό.
Hello, Georges. Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
Ooh. I sure hope so. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the four horsemen of the... I'd better get back to the quest.
Ωραία. Τώρα... Μονφασόν. Oh.
Πού πήγες, έφυγες στο μουσείο?
Ναι. Πάω στο Μονφασόν που μου άνοιξε τώρα. Μίλησα στον Αντρέ Λομπινό. Του είπα να πάει, πήγε στην Νίκο και μου είπε για το Μονφασόν. Λέω δεν υπάρχει κάτι εκεί τώρα. Πάω να το δω. Τι είναι αυτός?
Excuse me, officer.
Α, καλά, χάλια είναι.
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
Χάλια
You
είναι.
have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Το ψάξες στο μουσείο ή απλά πήγες και μίλησες?
Πήγα και μίλησα. Τι έχει κάτι το μουσείο, λες? Κοίτα, όταν άνοιξα το τέτοιο στο μουσείο πριν, το μουζέ Κρούν, όταν ανοίγω αυτό, πάει και το κλείνει ο...
Attention! Please do not open the window,
το
monsieur.
window.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill. And the fat falls on the open flame. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled. And it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows closed.
Και το ανοίγω όταν φύγει. Ας πούμε, όταν δεν κοιτάξει, θα το κλείσει πάλι.
Τίποτα άλλο, δεν κάνεις κλικ μέσα εκεί?
Αυτό, εδώ.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobino.
Καλά, εντάξει.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in
Πω,
the
έπρεπε να
day.
μείνουμε μέσα στο
More than
μουσείο,
enough
αλήθεια
for
τώρα.
me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien,
Άρα, μ' αρέσει, Μίτσο,
Good
πραγματικά δεν
night.
δίνει spoiler, ρε φίλε. Πολύ καλό αυτό. Ευχαριστώ, ευχαριστώ. Δεν το θυμάμαι καθόλου. Πρέπει να μείνουμε μέσα για να πάρουμε το τρίποδο. Ο Flip και ο Guido.
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight.
Κοίτα εδώ, gangster. Πρόξε αυτό επάνω.
What the... Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Oh.
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor Georges.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
Αλήθεια.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod.
Hey, Nico, shake hands with me.
No chance, Buster.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has three hideous faces.
Τώρα πρέπει να πάω να δω το Μονφασόν.
A knight with a crystal ball. The knight's scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a guy working on a loom.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Okay.
I'd better get back to the quest.
Oh mon dieu.
Μονφασόν. Bonjour, Μονφασόν. Ωχ. Είχε κόσμο πριν εδώ.
Maybe...
εντάξει.
I couldn't open it with my bare hands.
Να βάλω το σίδερο που βάζω πάντα.
Hey, hey you! What do you think you are doing? Leave that camera alone. Now.
Καλά, άσε μας ρε
Sorry,
πατάτα.
no harm intended.
You stay away from that.
Hey, you with the balls.
Oui?
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
Α, καλά.
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu! A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitic aeroballetic mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crowned heads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders. Plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so. That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, It does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be? A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not.
Ωραία. Παγριεύει το πράγμα. Εδώ δεν θυμάμαι καθόλου.
A knight, there in the company of his fellows. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world. I guess.
Εδώ.
On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack. A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. A stone... I wondered if this guy had died in combat.
Θα μιλήσουμε στον παππούλη. Ευλογήτω.
Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that.
Να του πάρω την πίεση.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Catch you later στον παπά.
I didn't have time to sit around.
I had no desire.
Πρέπει να μπεις μάλλον εκεί κάτω.
Ναι, από ό,τι φαίνεται, αλλά πώς θα μπούμε, που είναι ο χοντρός. Ο Μεθύστακας, τι θέλει εδώ τώρα. Port bis.
Excuse me, officer. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated and hanged in their dozens?
Boy, what they...
No, monsieur. I read...
Shouldn't you be off direct?
You have seen the Parisian...
Yeah?
I can see... Which would you...
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman.
Ναι, το ρωτήσαμε αυτό πριν. Το ίδιο.
Δεν τους είπα τα αντικείμενα, ξέρω εγώ. Κανονικά έτσι θέλει να τα εξαντλήσει όλα.
Ναι.
Take a look at this.
Ah, an electrician.
Ναι.
What do you think of this?
A blood pressure sleeve.
Would you like to shake? I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been smart. They'd rebuild the Bastille just so they could throw me in and throw away the key. Have you seen this man before?
No. Who is it?
I believe him to be an international assassin.
Oh.
Is that all you can say? Oh.
I did wonder if I should say that I believe you to be an international paranoiac, but it didn't seem polite.
Oh.
Do you know what this is?
Aha! You Americans with your notorious nose candy. I read Hollywood Wives. I know all about it.
If you tried to sniff this stuff, you'd wall up your nostrils. It's plaster of Paris.
It is. Thank heaven. For one awful moment, I thought I might actually have to arrest somebody. Alors, the paperwork. You have no idea.
What do you make of this grease paint stained tissue?
Delightful. Would you like to see some of my used tissues?
Hell no.
Then please put yours away.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
The pattern looks Middle Eastern.
Πεθαίνω.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Ah, you are a clown.
Do I look like a clown?
No, although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing. And not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Who ever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur. You have it.
Oh, πήραμε ένα κλου.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
I'd like to have another try at juggling, please.
You have gone on a crash course, perhaps?
No. I just had an insight into presentation.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon. The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey, you forgot one of your balls. Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Ναι. Θα φύγουν κι αυτοί τώρα. Όχι.
Καλά, αυτή δεν σε νοιάζει.
Το εργαλείο μας. Εννοείται πως το παίρνει, φίλε. Το σίδερο, κουβαλάει το σίδερο μαζί. Οπα.
If I wanted to get deeper into these catacombs, I was going to have to get onto that path. If the near edge hadn't crumbled away, I could have jumped it easily.
Τι είναι αυτό κανόνι?
Αυτό είναι... Περνάμε στη γέφυρα. Σκηνή.
The hook lay in a bed of chain. The wall had flaked, and anything once written on it had long since gone. The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templiers and something about innocence.
Ooh.
My medieval French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, this is where the gallows used to stand. Maybe.
Oh. Ooh.
I pushed against the door, but it seemed to be locked.
Δεν έχει κανένα νόημα αυτό που πήγα να κάνω. Κάτι γίνεται από ό,τι... Ή εδώ.
The door was a handsome piece of work.
Λοιπόν, πριν συνεχίσουμε, ένα μικρό διαλυματάκι για τουαλέτα και ερχόμαστε πάλι πίσω. Μείνετε εδώ, stay tuned, Μείνετε λίγο, πάμε τώρα, είναι σημαντικό πολύ. Και πάμε και λίγο follow, πάμε λίγο. Ορίστε. Αυτό είναι. Short break και πάμε δυνατά. Πάμε λίγο. Ωραία. Φίλος μας ο George. Ο George. Hey George Sobert. Λοιπόν.
There. In the middle.
George. Bonjour, comment tu t'appelles George? Je m'appelle George, et toi? Je m'appelle Theodore. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Όταν μιλάς, ας πούμε, ή μιλάς γερμανικά, παίρνεις και τον τόνο, ρε, που τους λες τους γερμανικά, ξέρω εγώ. Ja, hallo, wie geht's? Ja.
Ωραία, είναι πείτε.
Ja, wunderbar. Όταν μιλάς ελληνικά, ελληνικά, ακούς τώρα εδώ πέρα, χάλια. Και μετά να πεις Γάλλος, bonjour, madame. Είδες πώς ακούω μέσα εδώ, έχω πεθάνει. Λοιπόν, first thing first, για να δούμε λίγο τι γίνεται με την πόρτα αυτή με την νεκροκουφάλα επάνω. Δημήτρη, είδες, δεν σε έχω ενοχλήσει σήμερα πάρα πολύ.
Όχι, θα πας καλά.
Αλήθεια δεν το θυμάμαι. Αλλά...
The hook lay in a bed of chain.
Ναι. Θα του βάλω το σίδερο. Όχι. Οκ. Αχα.
Άρα κάπου πρέπει να το γαντζώσεις.
Ναι. Αλλά πού? Αυτό είναι το μυστικό. Το γαντζώσουμε. Τι έχουμε πάνω? Δεν έχει κανένα νόημα να βάλω αυτό.
Όχι. Πισόμετρο.
Ξέρω εγώ. Συνήθως σαν το MacGyver μου θυμίζει μερικές φορές ο George. Εδώ...
The door was locked.
Εδώ στον κρεμασμένο τι είναι?
Εδώ.
Εικόνα, δεν είναι τίποτα.
Εικόνα. Για δες Νατάσια, για κοίταξε το καμβά. Για κοίταξε το καμβά. Άμα βάλω αυτό το σίδερο εδώ. Ακούγεται μία κατσίκα.
Ακούστηκε κατσίκα, μάλλον επειδή έκανες κάτι γελίο.
Ναι.
Τίποτα, στο άλλο δωμάτιο.
Ναι, ναι, ναι. Λοιπόν.
A weird little boat lay tied up. I guess they used it to get maintenance crews around. Either that or the Phantom of the Opera was somewhere near. On the boat was a winching machine.
Ναι, ωραία. Το γερανάκι πάνω στην τέτοια. Και έχουμε 3 επεισόδους εδώ. Και αυτό που μπορούμε να το δούμε.
The hook lay in a bed of chain.
Ναι. Και έχουμε πάνω μας.
Απέναντι που δεν μπορείς να πας.
Ναι.
Έχει κάπου να το γατζώσεις.
Έκο. 1, 2, 2. Τεστ. Όχι. Από ό,τι βλέπω.
Στις πόρτες κλικάρες, τι έβγαλε?
Οι πόρτες μου λέει αυτό.
The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templier and something about innocence.
Άμα βάλω το σίδερο το αγαπημένο μου στην πόρτα.
Nothing hollow there.
Οπ. Το πιο
It
λίγο.
was time for some brutal destruction.
Τι κάνεις ρε χαλβά?
Hey, that's hollow. I'd poked a hole in an historical site.
Bravo.
If any archaeologists came by, they'd lynch me for this. There was some sort of mechanism hidden inside the wall, with a lever in the middle of it. Here goes. The secret door had jammed. I couldn't get through that gap.
Τώρα όμως.
Θα την ξυλώσει την πόρτα.
Δεν θα αφήσει τίποτα. Δεν θα αφήσει διάολο τώρα. Κοίτα. Έκαλα. Πού πάει ρε παιδιά?
Boy, had I ever made a mess of that door.
In the beginning was the end.
An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness.
In the end will be a beginning.
An end to our enemies heralds our new day.
Report.
Είναι λίγο σαν την ταινία του Johnny Depp, το 98.
The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them. A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern
Μόλις έκανε ένα δικαίη αληθή ρε.
Αλήθεια.
is now.
Αύριο έχουμε PvP,
Δεν έκανε καν release. Ναι, πρέπει να κάνουμε το...
We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent.
The tired old governments are dying a slow death from their own incompetence and our machinations. Professor, where is the broken sword?
As we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say, our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sword of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lakmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you that we have a sacred duty, a trust? When Philippe attempted to destroy the order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course, my apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present. Ha! But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Marquet was a liability. Eklund dealt with him on my orders.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean to.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
This will be our last meeting in person until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I hope that I don't need to emphasize the importance of finding it. Without it, our endeavors come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition the next time that we meet. It will be to become the princess of this world! Wow!
Oh my Sineiru.
Πάω κάτω. Πού. Ποια ταινία μου είπες, Μίτσο, σου θύμιζε?
Την Άννα Τυπίλη, τον Τζόνι Ντεπ.
Α, εκείνη που πήγε στο κάστρο, που πήγαινε...
Ναι.
Αυτό
με τα βιβλία και τις σελίδες.
There was a large circle marked out on the floor with a stump in the middle. Around the circle, I could see words inlaid into the stone. On the circle's circumference were the Templar seal and 2 Latin phrases, Non omnis moriar and Clarior e tenebris. I shall not die completely, the brighter from the darkness.
Είναι σκάς.
The tripod's feet fitted neatly into the notches on the top of the stump. The light falling from above struck the gem and scattered in 5 neat rays. And each ray picked out a letter. Starting from the left, I could read M-A-R-I-B. Marib. Now all I had to do was figure out what the heck that meant.
Marib.
Nico, I've seen them.
Who?
The Templars. I spied on their meeting in the catacombs.
And you saw the Knights Templar?
I saw a bunch of guys masquerading as Templars. They're after something called the Sword of Baphomet. The bogus doctor was there, the guy who killed Marquet. The manuscript is the key, just as we thought. It shows the way to the broken sword, whatever that is.
And how does the assassin fit into all these?
He's out to stop them. These Neo-Templars, they're men and women in influential positions. Don't you see? Plantar was one of them. The assassin killed him for the manuscript, to stop them finding the sword.
But now we have got the manuscript.
Yes.
So, how do they hope to find the sword?
I don't know. They said something about a lens and a guy called Klausner who's gone to Syria, but they didn't seem to realize the significance of the very site of their meeting. You see, after they'd gone, I discovered a stone pedestal and a carved inscription. I set up the gem on the tripod, directly below a beam of light. The gem split the beam and lit the letters M-A-R-I-B.
Marib is a village in Syria. You're not thinking of going there yourself, are you?
Why not?
These guys are crazy and dangerous. That reminds me, you should leave the gem here.
Okay, what about the tripod?
I'll send it back to Andre, anonymously.
Oh, man.
Do you think I should go to Marib?
Syria is a long way, George.
Καλά. Οπ. Πάμε Λαδά. Δεν μπορούμε. A few hours later. Καλά.
A few από Γαλλία εκεί, a few. Εδώ είναι χαοτικό το παιχνίδι.
As I didn't see the point of going all the way over to get scratched, I stayed where I was.
Hey there, young fella. Speaky you the English? Speaker you the Anglese? Parlez-vous anglais?
Yes, si, and indeed oui, and rather better than you by the sound of it. My name is Nijo. Welcome to my grand emporium of quality merchandise.
Is that your father lurking in the back of the stand?
He is indeed a roaring fellow. Ayub's his name.
You don't sound like you respect him very much.
Don't I? Not only do I respect him, I rather like him. For all his bluster, we get on very well.
That's not a very friendly cat you got there, Nijo.
No, sir. It is a very unfriendly cat.
Why do you keep it?
Oh, it's not mine. It just rests where it pleases. And today, it pleases to rest there. As Kipling would say, it is a cat that walks by itself.
Fiercely independent.
And it smells.
Να τα είδες η γάτα, έτσι αράζει απλά.
So, this is your stand?
Oh, yes, sir. Though stand does not begin to do it justice. The finest in this bustling metropolis.
This is a bustling metropolis?
Well, not per se, no.
How much are those books there on the shelf?
Have you any serious plans?
I think I might have a couple of Irish.
Τι έγινε, Μάρκο?
Then they're too expensive for you, sir.
Τι να γίνει ρε, έχω γυρίσει πάνω στο healer. Βαράω το κάνει χείλο άλλος το healer. Γκαμώτο.
You speak very good English.
Thank you, sir.
Όλα τα άνοιξε, φίλε. Ό,τι είχα και δεν είχα.
My uncle procured.
Oh, a language course.
No, sir. Jeeves and Wooster. Gussie, think noto. Aunt Agatha. What ho?
Όχι καλέ μου.
Do you know the name Merlin?
I'm afraid not, Old Bean.
Old Bean τον είπε.
Α, μια χαρά. National lockdown έχουμε.
Αλήθεια. Τρελάκια, 1-1-1. Hi. Γεια σου τρελάκια μου, τρελέ μου. Καλώς ήρθες. Broken Sword. The Shadow of the Templars. Καλώς ήρθες.
Τι έχει η Ελλάδα, National Lockdown.
Όχι, στην Αγγλία.
Πάλι μπήκαμε National Lockdown. Και εσύ Αγγλία είσαι ρε που είσαι?
Ναι, στο Manchester.
Α, και εγώ δίπλα είμαι, Sheffield.
Μπήκαμε σε National lockdown.
Πάλι.
Παιδιά, η Αγγλία μαθαίνουμε τώρα, γιατί και εδώ τα μαθαίνουμε, είναι σε National Lockdown. Πάμε να δούμε δυνατά και στο Ελλάδα, να δούμε τι θα γίνει.
Until the middle of February.
Μέχρι να σβήσει ο ήλιος βλέπω.
Τι ωραία. Τι ωραία.
Μέχρι να σβήσει ο ήλιος lockdown.
Μια χαρά, θα τρώμε στο τέλος φύλλα.
Θα τρώμε φύλλα και θα μας έτσι σαν και το stand εδώ στο Broken Sword. Τρελάκια μου, απόλαυσε το game. Αν θες μπορείς να δεις το πρώτο μέρος. Είναι αρκετές ωρίτσες. Μπορείς να δεις τώρα και να συνεχίσεις εδώ την παρέα μαζί μας εδώ έτσι λίγο στο Broken Sword. Πολύ παλιό παιχνίδι, adventure, point and click, χαλαρό. Πάρεις ποτάρα σου και άραξε μαζί μας.
Does the word Templar mean anything to you?
Templar. 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 Why, yes, of course.
It does?
Τι να σου κάνουν αυτό, ρε, μας κορυδεύουνε. Αφού λέει μπορείς να βγεις έξω για δουλειά, για να ψωνίσεις, για exercise.
Τα πάντα όλα.
Great.
Καλά.
That's a real
Καλά
help,
ψάχνει να
mate,
βρεις
Joe.
τώρα το χάος.
The Saint television program featuring Mr. Roger Moore of the quizzical eyebrow. And
Τα nurseries θα είναι, θα remain open. Δεν μας κορυδεύει, ρε, πώς.
Δηλαδή όπως ήταν.
Ναι, όπως ήταν.
So long, Nijo.
Toodle pip, sir.
Take away κανονικά δουλεύουνε. Or click and collect. Α, δεν βρε μαλάκες.
Δεν βρει γάτα.
As I didn't see the point of going all the way over there to get scratched, I stayed where I was.
Λεφτά δεν μας δίνουν όμως.
Άλλο αυτό. Άλλο αυτό. Άλλο αυτό. Λοιπόν, είμαστε στη Συρία εδώ τώρα.
I hadn't come all this way to seek out curios.
Πάμε το κουμπουνάκι εδώ. Να χτυπήσω τη γάτα με το σίδερο.
Δώσ' την μπάλα. Την μπάλα δώσ' τη γάτα.
Πάλι καλά που είναι ένα τάσα.
Όχι, παιδιά.
Ας έχεις πηδήξει. Μας πηδήξει.
Ο Μάρκος που με πάρει στο WoW. Παιδιά, δεν γίνεται να δώσω
Μπορείς να
τη
την
γάτα.
πετάξεις κάπου πιο μακριά για να φύγει από εκεί.
Δώσε σε κανένα άλλο την μπάλα.
Μάρκο, είχαμε.
Χάσαμε.
Hi, I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, sure, son. Always got time for a fellow American. The name's Henderson. Dwayne Henderson.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Henderson.
Hell, boy. I'm not in the office. Call me Dwayne.
Oh, okay. Dwayne? My name's George Stobart. Do you think bulls
England
have
to enter
any
toughest COVID
significance around
lockdown
here?
since
Weird
March.
question, George. Nope, I don't think they have.
I saw a medieval picture of a woman, royalty or nobility, something like that. She was looking in a mirror, but the reflection was of a man with 3 faces. What do you think of that?
I think you should be in therapy.
Καλά.
Δεν θα ανανεώσουμε ποτέ το διαβατήριο.
Εμένα μου φαίνεται θα σηκωθώ να φύγω από Κύπρο και θα μείνω μια και καλή εκεί πέρα. Ποιος τους σχέζει.
Μπλέξαμε ρε, μπλέξαμε, είναι... Για να εξερευνήσω λίγο γύρω εδώ.
Τίποτα, Σουηδία χωρίς lockdown.
Oh.
In the still air, the smell hung around like bad smells do. The merchant was selling fruit. I decided I might have some later.
Oh, ο Τζαφάρ. Πουλάω χαλιά, πουλάω. Πω, δεν το θυμάμαι καθόλου με τσότο, Δεν το θυμάμαι καθόλου.
Άστο, δεν είναι χαοτικό. Κοίτα μια φάτσα.
What do you think of this?
Lovely carpets, yes!
Καλά.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Ah! Give to me! Give to me! Allah mut!
Πλάκα κάνεις τώρα.
Many beneficent greetings, my most fortunate possible friend.
Huh? Do I know you, mister?
No, no, and again I say, no. But, my friend, do you not see our mutual good fortune in this meeting?
How frank do you want me to be?
You are a traveler, yes?
Boy, you must be the world's greatest detective.
No, I am told that is Sherlock Holmes of the big forehead and slipper full of shag. I, as contrast, am world's greatest luxury taxi driver.
I can see where this is going.
I am Ultar, taxi driver and luxury guide per excellent, yes.
This I had to hear.
Where does your heart desire to go? Simply mention the name to your obedient servant and we shall fly there, swift as the eagle.
Oh, well, I don't really want to leave Marib yet, but I'm sure that if I do, you'll be the first to know.
Is good. You know where you want to go, you come to Ultar.
Thanks. See you around, Ultar.
Be having a pleasant day, full of shining experiences and happiness, my friend.
Even if I'd wanted to spit, my mouth was too dry. Damn, the door's locked. I'm sorry? Did you say something?
He say you not to go in toilet. Read sign, matey.
Matey?
It lose something in translation.
Hi. Nice club you've got here. I was wondering if you could help me. What? I mean, I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, but I don't understand.
No surprise there, all righty. He says sorry, but he not speak English.
But he didn't say anything.
He not have tongue.
No tongue? What happened?
It was bet.
And he lost.
He won. You should see other chappy. Oh, yes.
Ωραία. Κέρδη. Φαντάσου να έχανε κιόλας.
The carpet seller had an impressive collection of wares. If I had the time and the money, I might have bought a couple of rugs.
Κάτσε να μιλήσουμε γύρω-γύρω να μαζέψουμε στοιχεία. Δηλαδή, τώρα είναι χάος.
The stand was selling some fruit. This is what travel is all about. Roam the world and discover strange fruit.
Κυρίες εδώ.
Hello. I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, hi there, handsome. What can I do for you?
Hi, my name's George. I was just...
Well, it certainly is delightful to meet you, George.
I was...
My name's Mrs. Henderson, but you can call me Pearl, I'm sure.
Okay, Pearl. I was...
So nice to meet a friendly American face so far from home.
Pearl?
Yes, dear?
I was just wondering if you could help me.
Why, sure, precious.
Do you know anything about medieval weaving?
I do a little needlework, but gosh.
It's okay. It was a long shot. Have you talked to the boy on the bric-a-brac stand?
Oh, you've met him? His name's Nijo, you know. Oh, he's just so cute, I could die. I'd love to bundle him up and take him back to Ohio.
He might not thank you.
I'm looking for something ancient, you know. Something to impress the folks back home. The poor boy was trying to do his best, but we still haven't found anything.
Have you met the taxi man, Ultar?
Heavens, yes. What a big man. Very muscular.
But you didn't go for a ride.
Why, George, you're absolutely the most... Oh, you mean a taxi ride? No, Dwayne wasn't interested, so it didn't happen.
So, tell me a little about yourself, Pearl.
Me? Oh, a gentleman's interest is always so flattering. Well, my husband and I run a greetings card company in a cute little place called Akron in Ohio.
Akron? Cute? Little? I met your husband earlier. He's an interesting man.
That's why I married him.
I met your husband earlier. He's an interesting man.
That's why I married him.
Have you ever heard of a group of knights called the Templars?
Sounds familiar. I remember. Dwayne had a book. The Holy Something and the Holy Something Else. I can't quite recall. I read a little of it.
And?
Seemed like a lot of hooey to me.
I've got to go now, Pearl.
It's been a pleasure, George. Don't be a stranger.
Να μιλήσουμε πάλι στο παιδί. Πω, χαθεί τελείως.
Hi, Nijo.
Hello again, sir. And how may I help you this time?
Είναι και το πιτσιρίκι στο σπίτι, βλέπω.
So, all Templars means to you is Roger Moore.
I only watched it for the stick man with the halo. Bing! He was better animated.
So, I'm correct in saying that the word Templar doesn't mean much to you.
Well, there was the Order of Knights who were wiped out in an Inquisition in 1312, I suppose.
That's them. What else do you know?
Just how much information do you think there is on a Trivial Pursuit card?
A what?
From the medieval edition. We had it on the stand a couple of years ago. Ask me what a feuter is. Go on, I know all this stuff.
Never mind.
Ναι, ίσως.
What do you think of this, eh?
Oh, sir, what a splendid play.
Την μπάλα στο παιδί.
One day, when I am rich, I am going to build a world-renowned collection of brightly colored balls.
Are you serious?
In deadly earnest. People will come from far and wide to see my
Yes?
collection. The Rockefellers and the Gettys can keep their hoards of so-called fine art. But answer me this. What good is a Picasso, I ask you, if you cannot bounce it off a wall?
You may have a point.
Έσβησε.
That's not a very friendly cat you got there, Nijo.
No, sir. It is a very unfriendly cat.
Why do you keep it?
Oh, it's not mine. It just rests where it pleases. And today it pleases to rest there, as Kipling
fiercely,
and it smells.
Okay, forget about the Templars for a minute. What do you know about knights?
Like the Crusaders, they came to the East on an insane and pointless mission. They sacrificed thousands of lives, including their own, for insensate pride. How anyone can find them romantic confounds me.
Seriously, do you really think this thing's so great?
Take it away, you tempter.
I'll swap it for something off your stand.
Due to seasonal financial considerations, I'm afraid I cannot.
I thought you wanted this thing.
I do, sir. The stand doesn't.
Which in translation meant it's not really my stand, and I'll be in big trouble if I swap anything for something that I want myself.
Alternatively, is there any service that you require?
Not at the moment, but I'll bear it in mind. I met an interesting guy earlier, a cab driver.
Ah, that would have to be Ultar, a barbaric sort of chap.
Oh, he's not that bad.
You know how he speaks in Pidgin English? That's how he speaks in Arabic too.
What do you know about that couple?
Oh, they're American.
Is that all?
The chap's a little odd, As for the lady, it's a funny thing, but I get the impression she's a lot cleverer than she's letting on.
So long, Nejo.
Toodle pip, sir.
Nejo was still by the stand and still looking bored.
Άρα κάτι γίνει με τη γάτα.
I hadn't come all this way to seek out curios. Hi, Nejo.
Hello again, sir. And how may I help you this time?
Seriously, do you really think this thing's so great?
Take it away, you tempter.
Seriously.
Take it.
So long, Nejo.
Toodle pip,
Λοιπόν, για να δούμε ένα hint. Για να δούμε ένα hint. Δεν το σκεφτήκαμε αυτό να δούμε στο μαγαζί που ήμασταν πριν. Το σημάδι πάνω και το σήμα στην τουαλέτα. Είδες ότι πρέπει να εξαντλούμε τα πάντα.
Ακούς όπα.
Και το Τζαφάρ εδώ. Αλαντίν.
Νύχτες αραβικές.
By staring hard at the notice and squinting, I discovered I couldn't understand a word of it. Hello again, Ultar.
Praise be to Allah. I am blessed with your bountiful presence once more.
Could you tell me what that sign means?
It's a door stay shut until brush come back. Signed, the management.
Oh. Well, what does that mean?
Manager buy lovely new toilet brush, leaves it by wash basin for 10 minutes, come back, it been stolen. Not even out of wrapper. He damn cross. Lock up toilet and say, nobody use fine pristine toilet until brush given back. We say, what we do till then, eh? He say, cross legs and use superior willpower.
And that's what you've been doing?
No. Ultar use bucket.
See you around, Ultar.
May good fortune follow you, mister.
Άρα τώρα θα πάω στο παιδί να ανταλλάξω να βρω μια βούρτσα.
Δείξε καμιά φωτογραφία σε κανένα δεύτερο. Τίποτα αντικείμενα. Πρώτα πριν φύγεις.
Ναι, όντως, κάτσε.
What do you think of this ball?
Is most splendid, mister.
What do you make of that boy in the market, Nejo?
Nejo? Ha! Ayub's boy is too big for sandals. I speak splendid English and he laugh. He say, Ultar, you big ox, you split infinitive. I say, I split your head if you stay still long enough. Ha 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 ha! Ho 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 ho! Pretty funny, yes?
Hilarious. You should be on cable. Have you seen this man before?
Oh, most certainly. Was here only yesterday.
Ooh.
Here? Yesterday? My God, he's close.
Yes, he was asking a lot of questions, just like you.
What did he ask about?
He asked about American called Stoby.
Stobart?
Yes, Stobart. You know him?
The killer knew my name. What else did he ask about?
He asked about German man called Klobner.
I tried to remember the name of the man the conspiracy had lost in Syria. Was his name Klausner?
Sure, that is what Ultar said. Klausner. I told this man in the picture, Klausner wanted to go up to Bull's Head.
Hold on, he wanted to go where?
Bull's Head. Big hill, 10 miles out of town. Maybe 60.
When was that?
Oh, maybe a week ago.
60.
What can you tell me about this Bull's Head Hill?
It's most magnificent. Lovely views. Worth visiting. Yes, by indeedity.
How do I get there? No. Let me guess.
You need fine luxury guide to take you there in air-conditioned taxi.
Woe is me. Where can I find such a guide?
And Ultar is most luxurious guide for most literally some way.
in any direction.
Gee willikers, lucky old me.
Are you desirous of my pleasant and luxuriant service?
All right, let's go.
First, I regret the formalities. A trip to the Bull's Head... $50 Yankee, please.
$50? I don't have $50.
Oh, most unhappy event. Ultar then sorry, but he cannot take you on ride of lifetime.
Hold on, Ultar. Is there nothing I could barter with you?
Word that it was so, beloved friend. But my taxi needs gas, and its muffler needs the muffler doctor. Trading for these things is not possible. My heart weeps for the injustice, but it's bucks or zip, or unfortunate American.
Well, I still don't have any cash on me, American or otherwise.
Oh, unfortunate, most extreme. The delights of the Bull's Head Hill then must wait, I fear.
Well, I still don't have any cash.
Oh, the delights...
Have you met the...
Have Ultar met them? Have Ultar met them? Yes, Ultar have met them.
And?
They most ungenerous. Ultar offer to show them wonders of countryside. They say, is there anything ancient? Ultar say, yes, of course. Nature is ancient. They say, no, anything ancient made by men. And Ultar say, have you seen Taxi? Fan belt older than Ozymandias. Ha 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 ha! But they gone.
This place is certain...
Oh, yes, it is most exclusive. The membership can be no more than... Kind sir, what would you guess the population of the village to be?
Gee, I don't know, a couple of thousand?
Then I would estimate the membership to be no more than a couple of thousand.
Do you know anything?
Of course.
Yes? What can you tell me?
Great she-bop band of the 60s.
No, that's not really...
Who put the bop in the bop, 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 bop?
Yeah, eternal questions. What do you think of this?
Is gadget.
It's a blood pressure gauge.
Blood pressure gauge is what Ultar said.
See you around, Ultar.
May good.
Άρα θέλουμε... Θέλουμε λεφτά. Για να μας πάει στο bullshit.
Σε αυτόν μίλησες.
Πόντι μου. Πες με Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars. Ψήσεις αν το δεις το πρώτο μέρος, έχουμε βάλει και το δεύτερο σήμερα. Πανικός. Adventure Point and Click. Καλώς ήρθες, παιδαρά μου. Σε αυτόν τον εδώ.
Στον γκριλιέρι.
Suddenly, I realized the horrific truth. The guy was basting the kebabs with a toilet brush. What do you think of this?
Buy kebab? Come to eat?
Does this mean anything to you?
No, you buy kebab.
Σε φιλώ πάρα πολύ, παιδαρά μου. Παιχνιδάρα, να ξέρεις, παιχνιδάρα. Τώρα... Ο τύπος ψήνει τα κεμπάπ με τη βούρτσα της τουαλέτας, ωραία.
What do you make of this, sir?
You buy kebab. You buy kebab. Yum, most good.
Well, goodbye. Have a nice day.
Most good.
In the still air, the stand had kebabs dangling from the canopy. As a marketing device, it lacked something.
Λοιπόν, Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars. Εν ολίγης, τώρα έχουμε δύο χαρακτήρες. Έχουμε την Nicole και τον George, τον ξανθό εδώ που βλέπεις. Ο τύπος είναι Αμερικάνος, είναι τουρίστα στο Παρίσι, ήταν τουρίστα στο Παρίσι και μπλέκει τα θέλά του σε ένα μυστήριο. Περιλαμβάνει εκρήξεις, μυστήριες φιγούρες και όπως αποκαλύπτεται, άμα κάτσεις να το δεις, έχουν να κάνουν με ένα αρχαίο μυστικό, το Knights Templar, παιδί μου, των υποτών, το Knight των υποτών, ας πούμε. Assassins, παθιά, δύναμη, δολοφονίες, πάρα πολύ ωραίο. Και του δίνω πολύ άδικο τώρα του παιχνιδιού. Πιο πολύ παίζουμε λίγο με την εφευρετικότητα του George, γενικά, ή της Νίκο Κολάρ, να λύνουν μυστήρια, σαν detective. Ναι, αφλό μου. Πάθη, έρωτες, ίντριγκες. Αν θέλεις μπορείς να δεις το πρώτο χθεσινό μέρος. Έχουμε βοήθεια του Δημήτρη εδώ πέρα λίγο να με βοηθάει. Αυτό το παιχνίδι, for the record, το είχα παίξει πριν 15 χρόνια και δεν θυμάμαι τίποτα. Πραγματικά. Και είναι πολύ παλιό παιχνίδι, φυσικά. Και είναι από τα λίγα point and click, ρε παιδί μου, τα οποία αξίζουν προσεχής. Πάθη, έρωτες, ίντριγκες. Φλο, έτσι το λες. Δολοφονίες. Πάρα πολύ ωραίο. Πάμε λίγο. Και τώρα προσπαθώ. Όπως βλέπουμε, αυτός ο κύριος εδώ πέρα ψήνει εδώ και μπαπ με το βουρτσάκι από την τουαλέτα. Εμείς αυτό το βουρτσάκι της τουαλέτας πρέπει να το επιστρέψουμε στο μαγαζί που ήμασταν πριν. Θεωρητικά. Εδώ έχουμε μια γάτα, την οποία
έχει λιώσει στον πάγκο. Πάλι το πάτησες.
Το πατάμε πως κάνει κάποιο. Δεν θυμάμαι καθόλου εδώ πέρα τι γίνεται, πραγματικά.
Ξαναμίλα στους ανθρώπους. Ξέρω εγώ, ξαναμίλα στο παιδί, ξαναμίλα στους υπόλοιπους.
Hi, Nijo. Hello again, sir. And how may I help you this time?
Who's the guy selling the kebabs?
Oh, that's Arto. A miserable blighter, to be sure, sir.
He doesn't seem very happy.
He never is. Day in, day out, a face like a wet Wednesday. Whatever one of those is.
Does he speak any English?
Not cogently, no.
Look, this is going to sound a bit strange, but I need Arto's brush.
What? The brush he bastes the kebabs with?
Yes.
Let me find some dirty postcards for you instead.
Nijo, this is serious. Arto stole that brush he's using from a friend, and I want to get it back.
Perhaps I could help you, old chap. Maybe?
Και τώρα θα του δώσουμε
Maybe what? Perhaps
την
what?
μπάλα.
I do not wish to seem mercenary, sir, but I am a merchant, and merchants trade.
Merchant? This isn't Sears and Roebuck here.
Well, if you're going to be disagreeable...
No, you're right. What would you like?
I seem to recall that you have something that might alleviate my boredom. A globe of delight, a Rubicon spheroid of heavenly pleasure.
You mean the ball, don't you?
A tiny spherular form that barely spans my hand, yet promises hours of amusement.
If you mean the ball, why don't you just say so?
Can I have the ball back, mister?
All right, here you go.
Thank you, sir. People say bad things about Americans, but you're okay in my book.
What people? What bad things?
Never mind that now. Remember the brush?
Right, yes, the brush.
All you have to do with Arto is be polite. It lightens his day, makes it all worthwhile for him again.
How can I be polite to the guy when I can't speak a word of Syrian?
Arabic.
That's what I meant.
Simply memorize this phrase. Il-Ach il-Kalb.
Il-Ach il-Kalb.
Close enough. Now, Go over to Arto and deliver those honeyed words even unto his delicate ear. He won't be able to do enough for you.
Really?
Really.
So long, Nijo.
Toodle pip, sir.
Για να πάμε να δούμε, θα μας πει ο... Για, δεν μου είναι καθόλου στο μυαλό μου αυτή τη σκηνή, πραγματικά δεν θυμάμαι καθόλου αυτό το σημείο.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Hello, you buy kebab. Musgul.
Il Akul Kalb?
Filthy. Bad. I'll kill you.
Whoa, calm down. I just... Feet, do your thing.
Πάλι εκεί πάνω πας.
Με κυνήγαγε ο άλλος.
Hello again, sir.
Filthy. Bad.
Okay, I'm going.
Ναι, πέταξε τη βούρτσα πουθενά.
Πήγαινε ξανά πίσω στο μικρό.
Α, μήπως πήγε την έκλεψε. Ο Σβόλος μπορεί.
What the heck did you tell me to tell him?
Patience, sir.
Patience? I've been chased by a homicidal kebab seller, and you expect me to be patient?
But consider, sir, while you were running from the irate Arto wasn't using the brush.
Hold on. Are you telling me that I've been used as a diversionary tactic?
Your brush, sir.
Opa.
I can't believe that you put me on that kebab seller's death list for a toilet brush.
The ends justified the means, sir.
Yeah, but I noticed it wasn't your butt that was on the line, though.
They also serve who only stand and wait, sir.
Oh, spare me.
Ωραία.
So long, Nijo.
Toodle pip, sir.
Πάμε τη βούρτσα πάνω στο μαγαζί. Πού φάλα είναι. Τι του είπαμε ρε φίλε, τι λέτε να του είπαμε.
Από την βρωμιά.
There wasn't much point in trying to launch an in-depth conversation when I couldn't speak Arabic and he couldn't speak. Period. Hello again, Ultar.
Praise be to Allah. I am blessed with your bountiful presence once more.
Look, I've got the toilet brush back.
You man of action, all righty. Don't just wave at me. Give to manager.
What does Il Akal Kalb mean?
Who teach you that?
Nejo told me to say it to Arto.
And Arto come after you with big knife, yes?
Yeah. How did you know?
I know Arto. You tell him in bad Arabic that his kebab's made from dog meat.
I said he was using dog food? No wonder he went crazy.
No. Ultar not mean meat for dog. Ultar mean meat of dog.
Oh. Ew. See you around, Ultar.
May good fortune follow you, mister.
Άρα δώσ' τη βούρτσα στο manager.
Here's your brush, sir. It wasn't easy getting it back. The manager took the brush from me, gave me the toilet keys as my reward, and stomped off. What was all that about?
Manager, he say, bah, look at state of this. Need much cleaning and detergent before go around my, you bend.
He said all that?
Body language account for much, you know. Oh, yes, indeedy.
Ωραία. Πάμε στην τουαλέτα. Τόσο πολύ θέλαμε να μπούμε.
Τι προσπαθείς να κάνεις, αν το
ξέρω.
τελειώσεις?
Oops.
Καλά.
I hadn't drunk anything since the morning, and I didn't need to use it.
Πρέπει να λύσει το καζανάκι.
Δεν θέλει κανένας άλλος dungeon.
Κανείς heroic.
Πήραμε την αλυσίδα από τον...
Κι άλλο θέλει εδώ μέσα, κι άλλο.
Ναι.
Ναι.
Το πλακάκι στο
I knew the door was...
Μάρκο, βάλε για DPS, μήπως πέσει κανένα όπλο.
Το έχω κάνει, ναι. Καλέ μου.
Ποιος είναι ο Σύβαξ?
Τι κάνουν τα κλειδιά της τουαλέτες? 2 κλειδιά έχει.
Εντάξει.
Μην κάνεις spoil.
Όχι, εντάξει. Λέει όταν βλέπει και κολλάω, μου λέει, με βοηθάει. Εντάξει. Όταν βλέπει και δεν κόβει.
There didn't seem much point.
Ο Μάριος είναι, ρε.
It was a length of coarse grey toweling
Να
from
μας
the
λέει
toilet at
μόνο
the Club
ότι
Alamo.
κάτι άλλο πρέπει να κάνουμε.
Ναι. Ή ζεστό κρύο. Ναι. Χτες με το Μίτσο με τα τέτοια.
As clean as anything else in there.
Με τα puzzle της πόρτας.
Καλά.
Ωραία, πήραμε και το χαρτί. Και τώρα πρέπει να δώσουμε τα κλειδιά πίσω. Πήραμε μια αλυσίδα από το καζανάκι. Ένα χαρτί.
Maybe not.
Και κάτι γίνεται με τη γάτα.
Hello again, Ultar.
Praise be to Allah.
Well, I still don't have any cash on me.
Oh, the delights of the Bull's Head Hill.
Το ίδιο λέει.
What does this toilet chain mean to you?
You got brush back so you could steal chain? You're sure strange cookie, mister, yes?
Look what I've got. The towel from the toilet.
What do you want with towel?
Well, I don't know yet, do I?
You're sure a funny bod. Run around, collect things.
See you around, Ultar.
May good fortune follow you, mister.
Και πάμε να μιλήσουμε στον Έτζο.
Κοίτα το γατί, φίλε, είναι λιωμένο.
Μαλάκα στο πλάι με γάμα το πουτάνα.
Πλάκα με κάνεις, πες τα.
Μπουκάλι.
The statuette looked pretty sorry for itself after its fall. Chipped with both arms.
Φαινόταν
broken
πολύ
off.
λογικό τώρα να κάνω αυτό με τη γάτα, ρε. Πραγματικά.
Hi, Nijo.
Hello again, sir. And how may I help you this time?
May I have this statuette? It is broken after all.
Certainly. And when my father deals with that feline for breaking it, you can have a Davy Crockett hat as well.
Θα κάνει τη γάλα τέτοιο. Τη γάτα θα την κάνει...
So long, Nijo.
Toodle pip, sir.
Ωραία. Άμα πάω να πουλήσω στον Αμερικάνο εδώ το άγαλμα.
Hi there, Dwayne. Hi there, George. How can I help you, young fella?
What do you think of this?
Looks like the kind of thing Pearl might be interested in. Not old enough, though.
Look, I've got some plaster of Paris.
Yeah, and I've got a picture of me shaking hands with George Bush. Of course, that was back in '76.
Okay, well,
Άρα
I'll
πρέπει
see
να
you
το κάνω
around.
παλιό.
Η
Πρέπει
γυναίκα
να
πήγαινε το...
πρέπει να τον μπαμπαλαιώσω. Οπότε...
Maybe not.
Στο φύλλο, αφού είναι το μόνο φύλλο.
The grease paint had worked magic.
Το πρώτο τι ήταν?
Now it looked like aged marble instead of cheap plaster. Maybe...
Όχι, άρα... Τώρα στην Μπέρλ, πάμε στην Μπέρλα. Πού είναι? Α, εκεί είναι.
Hello again, Pearl.
Why, hello, George. It's such a pleasure to see you again.
What do you think of this fine piece of ancient statuary?
Oh, Matt, that's just what I've been looking for.
Would you like it?
Would I ever? I'm not carrying the money, though. If you go and find Dwayne, he'll pay you for it. If he gives you any trouble, just tell him that I want it.
I've got to go now, Pearl.
It's been a pleasure, George.
Don't be a stranger.
Ωραία, έλα Dwayne. Έλα αγόρι μου. Πλέρω.
Hi there, Dwayne.
Hi there, George. How can I help you, young fella?
What do you think of this?
Good gravy. Looks old.
Yeah, I had to turn this town upside down.
Boy, your luck's better than ours. Looks Roman.
I wouldn't know.
What'll they say back home? How much do you want, George?
Oh, I couldn't. It's the find of a lifetime. I mean...
$50. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. Here you go.
Άνετα.
And here you go.
Thanks for the money, Dwayne. This'll come in real handy.
I ought to be thanking you for finding this Roman statuette.
Καλά. Βουλωμένο γράμμα διαβάζει.
Okay, well, I'll see you around, Dwayne.
Count on it, George.
Το αριστερό το φύλλο το σκέτο. Όχι, λάθος πάτε μάλλον. Μπράβο.
Κύριε, αφού ήταν όλα τα άλλα ήταν...
Hello, sir.
Το λες, γεμάτη.
Ναι, αλλά είχαν στρόγγυλο ρε φίλε, αυτό δεν είχε.
Il akul kalb?
You speak Niger, yes? Ma'asalama.
Hello again, Ultar.
Praise.
About Bull's Head Hill.
Are you desirous of seeing this most splendid place?
Well, maybe.
A terrific bargain. Only 50 of your Yankee bucks.
50, huh? Okay, it's a deal. Here's the cash.
Ah, most splendid. As you say, the cash price moolah is correct. Mister, we make with haste.
Where exactly is your taxi? Because the only vehicle I can see around here is an aging Army surplus truck.
Yes?
Ah. Okay, I'll be along in a minute.
Το φύλλο. Το λουλούδι.
Όχι ρε, το λουλούδι.
It didn't seem right to take off with the toilet keys, so I left them on the bar.
Σκέφτηκε ρε, να με αφήσει, να μην πάρει τα κλειδιά μαζί.
Πάλι το λουλούδι.
Hello again, Ultar.
His most splendid and adventurous client.
That's your taxi?
Oh, yes, most assuredly. Most entirely splendid taxi in all Marib.
It looks like an old army truck to me.
Bah!
You Americans with your checkerboard caps and your Judd Hershes. You have lost sight of what a taxi should truly be.
About 4 tons by the look of it.
There, you have hit the nail in the nutshell.
Okay already, let's go.
Regrettably not, most esteemed fair. There is a minor problem of a tiny nature. The fan belt has taken it upon itself to break.
So, what are you gonna do?
What can I do? I must wait for a ride to the garage or a replacement.
How long is that gonna take?
1 day, maybe 6.
I can't wait that long. We gotta get moving.
But how, my friend?
I'll think of
1
something.
day, maybe 6.
Καλά.
No way. Is this any use to you?
My friend, the very thing, yes.
Τι θα κάνει? Πού θα τη βάλει την πετσέτα?
Oldtar took the towel from me, cut it in 2 lengthways, and gave me half back. With his half, he did the kind of fan belt replacement that's normally done with stockings.
Καλά.
Now, if I knot the ends together, so... Serviceable, yes. Very serviceable indeed.
Για η μάντα την
Την έκανε η μάντα, ρε
On a
φίλε.
truck, the coarse toweling did the job nicely.
Come along, my friend. You want to see the bull's head? Yes.
A few hours later. Oh. Κάποιος με παρακολουθεί.
Και θα εμφανιστεί από εκεί ο Μπιτ Μπιτ.
Λοιπόν. Παιχνιδάρα, Αχα. Μάλλον μας βλέπει ο Καν.
Oliver Καν.
Χωρίς κανένα λόγο, πάω να πάρω αυτό το ξύλο. Εννοείται στην τσέπη.
I damaged that tree enough for one day. I could see that crack would make a good anchor point. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Μάρκο.
Γέλα πουλί μου, γέλα.
Ρε, το upgrade στα ρούχα μου είναι από 168-171 στο Heroic.
Θες να πάμε κάνα Mythic εννοείς?
Mythic πρέπει να πάμε, ρε γάμο του.
Πρέπει να πάρεις ένα όπλο όμως.
Εντάξει.
LFR.
Ρε, θα πάμε, θα κάνουμε αυτό το συγκεκριμένο dungeon και 3 φορές ακόμα μέχρι να πέσει το weapon, σιγά. Είναι και εύκολο. Γρήγορο.
Deep into the living rock.
Γιατί ποιος θα πει κάτι άμα είμαστε 3 δικοί μας?
Κανείς.
Τότε...
Κανείς. Τι να πούνε.
Τι έκανα εγώ, μαλάκα.
Maybe not.
Τι άλλο θα κάνει αυτό το χαρτί?
Κάνουμε τώρα εδώ.
Ακόμα το κουβαλάει.
A young tree grew at the edge of the drop.
Λοιπόν. Πότε πίσω δεν πώς θα μπορούμε να πάμε.
Ποιος μπήκε ή ποιος βγήκε? Σοφία μπήκε.
Σοφία μπήκε εδώ πέρα στο stream. Καλησπέρα Σοφάκι μου. Βλέπεις το stream, βλέπεις το παιχνίδι μας?
Όχι, περίμενα να δω.
Γιατί?
Περίμενα.
Θα δεις το παιχνίδι μας. Για να σκεφτούμε τώρα εδώ.
Δεν έχω gear, λέει. 171 φοράει.
Ναι. Καλησπέρα.
Εγώ είμαι, αλλά δεν βλέπω.
Όχι, βάλε τέτοιο ρε, βάλε random ρε. Α, γιατί ρίχνει του hand εδώ.
Ναι ρε. Τι εννοείς?
Το axe.
Ναι.
Climb.
Θα τον κάνω και τον μάνα invite.
Δημήτρη.
Έλα.
Τι κάνουμε, leave instance.
Ναι, ναι. Κάνε leave.
Άπες, αυτό μπορεί να πέσει μετά από 5 φορές ρε φίλε.
Κάνουμε τώρα εδώ.
Ένα τελευταίο run αφού θέλει και ο Μάριος το τέτοιο. Specific. Και άμα δεν πέσει, climb. Ποιο είναι αυτό τώρα? Mists.
Ξέρω εγώ δοκίμασα κάνα γρίλο, κάνα combine.
Του γρίλου.
Γενικά, κάνε combine. Ξέρω εγώ ο γρίλος μπορεί να χρησιμεύσει. Το έχει χρησιμοποιήσει παντού ρε.
Και αν πάμε Mythic θα το πάμε λίγο πιο σιγά ρε φίλε, δεν το πάμε...
Ναι, πολύ πολύ να βρούμε και κάναν δικό μας, ξέρω εγώ, που είναι εντυμένα, να έρθει μαζί μας και έλειξε. Climb.
Maybe not.
Ο γρίλος δεν πάει εδώ. Το κλαδί δεν πάει εδώ.
Έχουμε κανένα...
Εγώ είμαι. Απλά στρίβω και με βασανίζει κιόλας.
Τώρα το βλέπω το stream σου. Έπρεπε να πατήσω το link. Νομίζω ότι μπαίνοντας στο channel αυτό μου άνοιγε κατευθείαν. Καμία σχέση. Ναι.
Σ' ακούμε, Σοφία μου.
Είναι το συνέχεια του Bogen Sword. Αλλά τώρα έχω χαθεί. Να δω ένα hint. Περίμενε. Rope ladder.
With a flourish, I tied the end of the towel to the stick with a textbook reef knot.
Ήμουνα σχεδόν σίγουρος ότι το είχα δοκιμάσει ρε φίλε, αλλά δεν το έχω πει. Θα βαστίξω αυτό το πράγμα εδώ.
Αφού άλλος το έκανε για η μάντα, αυτοκίνητο.
Well, that looked really safe, but I had no choice. I hadn't anticipated going mountaineering when I'd come to Syria. I didn't like the idea of putting my hand in there. But hey, what the heck? I was only risking mutilation. No blade took my hand off at the wrist, and no scorpion stung me, for which I was very grateful. But there was something in there. A metal ring, as wide as my hand.
Εδώ, έρχεται εδώ το εργαλείο μου.
I took a firm hold of the ring. I tried not to think of death traps, and pulled. Whoa there!
Έχουμε μπλέξει.
Around the corner, I found the corpse. Oh my God. Klausner? Large as life and twice as dead. I'd hardly had time to accept the fact when I heard the door mechanism start up again. Oh man, no! The door had slammed shut, trapping me. I had a bad feeling about how Klausner had died.
Πώς πέθανε ο Klausner? Man, είχε πεθάνει.
I've done more fun things in my life than searching a corpse, but as my life expectancy wasn't great, I figured I should try every new challenge that came my way. I cautiously flicked open the jacket.
Hey, what's this? I'd found some kind of lens. A very old lens made from a very hard glass. That settled it. The knight on the manuscript had been holding a lens the whole time, not a crystal ball. Bullwhips might be handy for exploring ancient ruins, but they're no use when you're trapped in a cave. Klausner clearly fancied himself as a latter-day Indiana Jones. Whatever had been in the bottle had been drunk. Klausner must have died of thirst and dehydration. I searched the corpse. No portable phone, no demolition charges, no 5-course meal. You'd think international conspirators would go around better equipped.
Christoulias.
Little Jesus.
Little Jesus. Little Jesus.
I'd searched Klausner once. There was nothing on his body. I couldn't think of anything to do with the statue, apart from scaring small children with it. I couldn't take the inscription with me. All I could do was stare at it and try to memorize it. In occidenta cita est in ora mundi. Okay, that would have to do.
Τσάκωσα, ρε.
Καλώς τον. Είσαι online στο stream, Νικό. Καλησπέρα.
Τι λέει?
Πώς είσαι,
Καλά. Τι κάνετε?
Παίζουμε καλησπέρα στο κοινό μας. Παίζουμε ένα παιχνίδι adventure.
Είναι μεγάλο το κοινό.
Είμαστε 7 άτομα. Εμείς και εμείς λογικά, αλλά πρέπει να έχουμε και πολύ κόσμο και δίνω πολλά φιλιά και τους ευχαριστώ που είναι μέσα.
Maybe not. In occidenta cita est in ora mundi. Okay.
Okay. Ωραία, είμαστε με σπηλιά, κοιτάμε γύρω-γύρω.
Δεξιά πήγε το σκατό.
I couldn't help but notice faint bloody finger marks on the rock, as if somebody had tried to claw their way out.
Αυτό πώς ήρθανε.
Τενέκι Ινδέα. Εντάξει, αν δεν τα καθαρίσω. Έλα. Yipes.
A stone head bearing 3 bearded faces. It was a strange image, but a powerful one, redolent with antiquity and ancient mysteries. The mouth's opening. It must be Ultar. My God. If he comes in, we'll both be trapped. Ultar! Don't come in! It's a trap! Stay where you are! You!
Hello, Mr. Stobart. We meet in the most unusual places. Please, do not make any sudden moves. I have no desire to maim you.
Did you say maim?
I did. Dead men tell no tales, as you say. And I want to hear everything that you have to tell me.
And what if I don't want to talk?
Then I shall, most regrettably, have to kill you. Rest assured, however, that I am an excellent shot. You would not suffer.
Oh, that's good. Believe me, I'm really assured.
It is rather dark in here. I think we should conduct our business outside.
Why should I make myself an easier target?
If I fire at you, Mr. Stobart, I shall hit you even in here. But unfortunately, my marksmanship will suffer. It could be the difference between hitting you in the leg or the groin.
Boy, it sure is hot in here.
No sudden moves, Mr. Stobart.
Κάθαρο μας άφησε έξω.
Now then, where shall we start?
How about being bosom buddies and you putting that gun away?
Klausner, do you know where he is?
Yep, he's dead. Just around the corner of the cave. You want to look?
I'll take your word for it. How did he die?
Starvation or dehydration by the look of it.
He was caught in this trap you were shouting about? Yes, I suspected as much. The Templars were not ones to give away their secrets lightly. Was he carrying anything of importance?
Yeah, he was carrying some sort of lens. I've got it with me.
Give it to me.
I don't think so.
Don't be a fool, Mr. Stobart.
If I give it to you, what's to stop you killing me?
What is to stop me killing you anyway?
You might hit the lens.
Not if I shoot you in the head.
When I fall, the lens might get broken.
Yes. You plead convincingly, Mr. Stobart. Perhaps you will live to see another day. Perhaps. Was there anything else?
Well, there is something, I guess, but you can't move it.
Yes? What is it?
It's a treasure map. Yeah, X marks the spot.
Come now. Do you expect me to believe that?
Yeah, okay. You caught me. But round the corner, there is something in Latin up on the wall.
Latin? Do you remember it, Mr. Stobart?
In accidenta cita est, in ora mundi.
Ah, the words of Caesar. Yes, that makes sense.
Well, I know that roughly it means to the west, to the edge of the world. But what the heck is that about?
It tells me where the sword of Baphomet lies. Mr. Stobart, I am sure that you are just what you appear to be. A gifted amateur.
Thanks, I think.
But I can no longer tolerate your interference. There is far more at stake than you realize.
So what are you gonna do?
I regret that we must end this here and now. Your only choice now is whether you die like a man or like a dog.
Okay, you're the boss. I'll take my medicine.
You are an honorable man, Mr. Stobart. A rare breed. I should like to shake your hand.
Yeah. Well, what the heck?
Ooh. Σκληρό. Σκληρό.
Luckily, the canopy on Ultar's truck broke my fall.
Thank goodness for that.
The worst part of the experience was Ultar's driving.
What about the lens? Is it still in one piece?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you again, Josh.
Really? Well, I have to say, I'd have enjoyed Syria a lot more if you'd been there.
I wouldn't have been much help. Anyway, you did just fine on your own.
Have you any idea what this lens might be used for?
As a magnifying glass, obviously.
I brought you a present from Syria.
Oh, George, you shouldn't have bothered. What is it?
This.
A necklace. It's rather heavy.
Ethnic craftsmanship at its most rustic.
Oh, of course, I love it.
You do?
It will always remind me of you.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Βρήκαμε αυτό, βρήκαμε το τρίποδο, αυτό, βρήκαμε αυτό.
There's a guy with between them is a knight with a crystal ball. The knight scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened.
Πόσο έχεις κάνει έως τώρα, πόσο percentage?
Για να πατήσουμε ένα save να δούμε.
There's a woman looking at her, but the reflection. There's. I'd better get back to the quest.
Τι λέει το ημερολόγιό μας?
Ninja-like reflexes.
Το είδε, ninja-like reflexes. Mon façon. Ωχ, πάλι εδώ αυτός. Δεν μπορούμε να μπούμε πάλι εδώ κάτω. Για δούμε, πόσο έχουμε κάνει. «70%» αλήθεια.
Στα 2 τρίτα. Πόσο κάναμε χθες?
32.
Λίγο πάνω από 2 τρίτα.
Λοιπόν... Για δούμε ένα hint. Α, σωστά ήρθαμε. Οκ. Καλά, κάτι μου είχα στο κεφάλι μου για την εκκλησία. Κάτι είχε λίγο. Είχα λίγο στο μυαλό μου λίγο να εκκλησιαστώ. Πρέπει να διώξουμε τον παπά όμως από εκεί.
Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
You must be proud to have such an incredible collection of stained glass.
Pride is a sin, monsieur, but it is hard not to marvel when the light shines through them. It is a fine example of the artisan's genius.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Somehow, it looked more modern than its neighbor. In comparison to its neighbor, it looked pretty plain. A scroll was a symbol of scholarship. I knew that much. A scholarly knight. That rang a bell. A very Spanish bell. Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
Have you ever seen anything like this lens?
No, never. The glass seems subtly colored in some way.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before. I noticed that the stained glass window on the left looks more modern than the middle one.
You have a keen eye, monsieur. The original window was destroyed in the last war. It was as old as the church, early 14th century.
Oh man, that's awful.
Oui, a terrible loss. Still, the church and the other windows survived.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Μας είπε ότι τα παράθυρα είναι...
I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout. A knight, there in the company, biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world. I guess. Maybe not. I could see that what had at first seemed to be a fine engraved chasing on the scroll was actually writing. Per disciplinum meum lux videbus. Sounds pretty familiar to me.
Yep.
Per disciplinum meum lux videbus.
Oh.
A bit of a stained glass window. Wow. Hoping for a big insight while squinting through a hunk of statuary had been pretty optimistic, I guess. The lens fitted into the end of the scroll like a hand into a glove. Per disciplinum meum lux videbus. Hey!
Oh.
Για μένα είναι τώρα αυτό.
The distortions came sharply into focus. It was a Knight Templar burning at the stake. And below him a date in Roman numerals.
Oh.
A Knight Templar burning at the stake.
Ωραίο,
and
ωραίο.
a date. Let me see. MCCC XIV. That's 1314. In comparison to...
Ooh.
Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
Do you speak Latin?
You ask this of a priest?
Okay. Can you tell me what per disciplinum meum lux videbus means?
Let me see. That would be, by my teachings, you will see the light. I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Is the right-hand window original?
Oui, monsieur.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Λοιπόν, σώνουμε εδώ. Φτάσαμε ήδη 3 και 38 ώρες πριν. Σώνουμε. Πάρα πολύ ωραία. Και θα το συνεχίσουμε πάλι. Νομίζω τερματίζουμε. Είμαστε κοντά. Έρχονται όλα λίγο πάνω κάτω. Ωραίο. 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 Νατάσα, τι έχεις να πεις? Νατάσα, ακούει? Τι έχεις να πεις? Πώς φάνηκε? Χαλαρό πολύ. Δεν θέλω να το κάψουμε, αλήθεια. Είναι πω. Δεν το περίμενα να το... Άρε Μίτσο, τι ιδέες ήταν αυτές. Πού να δεις τα άλλα, Το 2... Το 2 είναι ακραίο. Το 2 είναι ακραίο. Το καλά, το καινούργιο το 5 ούτε καν. Το έχω αγοράσει και δεν το έχω δει. Το τελευταίο το 5. Αλλά το 1, το 2 και το 3 έχω να τα παίξω 15 χρόνια. Όταν είχαν πρωτοβγεί. Αυτό ήταν για σήμερα. Λίγο games and chill, λίγο χαλαρό. Ότι μας πάρει ο ύπνος. Δεν νομίζω. 3 ώρες και 40 λεπτά. Έχουμε φτάσει ήδη στο... Πόσο είχαμε δει πριν? 72%. 32%. Κάναμε 40% σήμερα. Πάρα πολύ ωραία. Λοιπόν, μέχρι την επόμενη φορά. Φιλάκια πολλά.